think that's good. I don't know if like the volume's gonna be good, you know what I mean?
You got the mics though, right?
I do have the mics, I just haven't. I feel like that'll work. But you should be like, yeah.
Are you on right now?
Yeah, yeah. So if we end up do the mics, I think it wouldn't be hard for us to set them up real quick.
Are you on?
Yeah. Oh, that's nice and loud.
Yeah, but you're right there.
So if we end up do the mics, I think it wouldn't be hard for us to set them up. Let's do a mic check from right here. Oh, that's nice. How's the mic check?
Yeah, but you're right there.
So if we end up do the mics, I think it wouldn't be hard for us. So let's do a mic check right here. You might have to mute that. Right?
Yeah, I will.
Mic check. It's not too bad, right?
Yeah, I will. Yeah, I think it should be alright.
Yeah.
Oh, can you take me off as a moderator, or should I?
Yeah.
Well, we should probably wait though, right?
No, we can, yeah. I just gotta find where the comments are.
Do I need a comment?
Yeah, comment. Oh, there you go. Remove as managing moderator. Shorty is no longer a moderator. Yeah, I think Gina wanted to take herself off as well.
She is one too, but she can comment.
Only on the long videos. Oh, he's here. He's here. And you're the only one watching.
No, there was somebody else.
No. Not yet. Alright. So he's gonna come in. I mean, when I'm standing, can you see me when I'm standing?
No.
No. Might have to raise that up a little bit.
All I see is your Yukon hoodie.
My Yukon hoodie? So if we raise it up to about there. We got the. What's this?
No, because I can even see it from here.
Still no?
No, your head's cut off.
On this guy, he's a tall dude, so.
He's probably taller than me.
Yeah, he's probably taller than me. I mean, let's see. We're just trying to work out the right angle here.
Yeah, that's good right there.
That's good right there.
Yeah, you said
We can push him away a little bit. His would be all up on me though, right?
you should probably move over there. Move his back over.
Oh yeah,
Right there.
right there. Can you still see the Yukon?
Yes.
That's good. Here he comes. He's walking up. He's looking through the, he's got a whole bunch of stuff with him. So,
You got 5 people on there now.
huh?
You got 5 people. Oh, 3.
Yeah, 3. Hey, he went through that gate. I told him not to go through that gate, and he was able to walk in. He's putting the lip balm on his lips. What?
Hello.
Hey!
Hey, did you start without me?
Yeah, we started.
Oh man, I thought you loved me.
Well, it takes a while. It takes a while to get things rolling sometimes, you know.
Get some people on there.
But yeah, we're on.
Just see you, buddy.
How are you, man? How's the ride?
3 hours. Well, you know, it's just
Yeah,
a long one.
yeah.
Yeah. Hi. Oh,
Bring it in.
yeah. Oh.
Okay. All right.
What is that thing?
I have a fridge, I'm
Sort of
guessing.
ice fridge?
I don't know, but I don't smash it over.
Is it safe? It's like a cracker.
I hope it's safe. I hope it's safe. Yeah, it's just getting rolling. Not too much.
How's my hair? Do I look good?
So, yeah, I think Jess will tell us.
Holy,
at the
you
end
didn't
of-
warn me.
Yeah,
Okay.
they
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, they're lounge
What's that, a man down here?
Yeah.
Oh, there it just locked.
How's the angle?
That's good.
Yeah, it's getting us both.
Yeah.
Oh, sweet.
Well,
Welcome along, buddy.
Thanks, buddy. I'm good to be back.
I can't believe you drove 3 hours to be here.
I can't believe you drove 3 hours to hang out with me in my office. That was crazy.
Well, that was fun for me.
No, yeah.
I enjoy, and I want to do that again for sure.
You're welcome anytime. You're
It
welcome
seemed like when we went down there, it was a pretty good showing on the live stream when we were doing that.
Well, I mean, when you have what was that? What that one guy said? When you have the alpha come in and take over your show or whatever they did. It was a good time. We talked about a lot of interesting things.
Yeah.
A lot of behind the scenes stuff that maybe a lot of people don't realize.
That's the thing there's a lot that people don't know, like how pool liners are made
Yeah.
and the safety covers, and in all these years I never knew.
Right.
You know, but
Wait, you didn't know, dude? If you don't,
I mean,
wow.
I kind of knew, but I'd never seen it before. Like,
Right.
you know, not like you guys showed me. You know, with the VIP treatment that I had and everything. But I don't know. I mean, there's a lot has happened since the last time we got together. The channel has grown a little bit more since then, and we have a lot of.
You're lighting the world on fire, man.
There's a lot of new people that might not know who you are.
Oh.
So this is our chance to introduce Jim to the world.
Oh boy.
And,
Sorry, world. Sorry. You had this coming.
Yeah, Jim's from Kayden Manufacturing, and so the reason he came up is because the channel had a video go viral that involved his product, and I think to date it was 720 something thousand views.
Wow. Wow.
Hopefully you'll be able to get your phone out and we can kind of scroll through some of the comments, and
I got my phone. Let me turn my ringer off.
and we can address some of the comments, because there were some good questions on there that
Definitely.
I'm not sure I was the correct person to.
Well, you have a lot of field experience. Like, I know the product as far as how we make it and what the point is, but you've actually used it in the field like way more than I ever have. So I think hopefully between the two of us we can address all the issues.
Since you bring that up, I think one of the biggest things was, when you go to your website and you look at the pictures, you have the bladders by the edge of the pool, and then you're discharging right in the pool.
Right.
So that was
That's a perfect world
scenario.
Yeah.
And that was one of the things that a lot of people were saying was, we didn't do it right because we didn't do it the way that you were showing it, and I was trying to explain to people that out in the field, it's not always a perfect. It's not always a perfect scenario, and if the patio is big enough to handle the size of those bladders, then that's the way to do it.
If I should have thought of this. I have a photo from one of our dealers in the Michigan area, who they install pools year round, and they have about 10 pool bladders in their arsenal, and they sent me a photo once. It might actually be on their Facebook page. Maybe we can pull this up. Doing a new install. I think it was a vinyl liner pool, but just to get it done quickly, they literally have 10 bladders around the pool, not within inside the confines of like a pool fence or something like that, but just one in the shallow end and then like all around. And they're probably just trash pumping that water back and forth. They'll talk about filling a pool like lickety split.
Yeah.
That's how you do it.
Yeah.
For plaster guys. So does everybody know where we are? We're here in.
I don't know that everybody knows where we are. Is anybody even watching us, or are we just talking?
No, you got 5 people.
Oh.
Hey, we're off to a good start.
Yeah, it's getting there.
It takes a while to get the
It
stream
does.
rolling.
Right. So Juliana's the company you work for. Obviously, you do liners. Do you guys do plaster and other stuff as well?
No, not here at this location. We do have another location in Suffield, Connecticut, right on the Agawam border next to Six Flags, Drunowski's. And they do a lot of those types of pools, the plaster repairs and stuff like that. We have subcontracted out those jobs occasionally, but internally we don't do, we're mainly liners, above ground pools and fiberglass pools.
Okay. So the interesting thing is, one of the common misconceptions about the Kayden pool bladder is that it's just for liner guys, and it's not. It's for pool guys.
It's not even just for pool people.
We've got smaller models for hot tub guys, hot tub people.
I've seen construction crews on the side of the road use them.
There you go. Anytime you need to temporarily store water, bang, there it is. In fact, this is cool.
This is cool.
I've got one of.
I think before we get rolling too far, I'm taking this hoodie off though. It's nice.
It's warm and toasty in here.
Well, I remember right before we left, I put the thermal on. Wow, you brought some stuff.
I brought a mini version.
Oh, this is so good. I was in the
Just so we can
office
talk
trying
about
to
it.
find one because I
Oh,
knew we
that's-
had some in
dude.
there, but
This is like a 5x5.
Yeah,
This is like the one we do at the booth at the AC
this is
show.
great.
Yeah. So we'll get into
The
the
floor is
details.
yours. Let me give you a little space there.
Don't let me alpha you off your own
No,
feet again,
I
man.
think
Come on.
I'm still in the screen, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, see, I
And
on
you
my
got my
3
good
hour
side too.
This is
So.
it.
Alright.
on the 3-hour drive here on a Sunday morning, no less. Yeah, it's funny when you and I were talking over the Christmas break, and you're like, oh, we're at 100,000 views. Oh, we're at 200,000 views. Oh, we're at 500,000 views. Our first day back in the office after our holiday break at Kayden was last Thursday, January 2nd. I walked into Jeff Kayden's office. I'm like, this Sunday, I'm driving up to Connecticut and I'm doing a show with Steve because the video's on fire right now. And, you know, he's like, well, you know, do you need a day off during the week to make up for it? I'm like, no, I'm too busy, but I can't afford to. I'm just going up on Sunday because that's the only chance we have to do it. So here I'm, and I gotta say, man, it's good to be here in your hometown, like your neck of the woods now. I mean, like afterwards, I think we're gonna play some volleyball out in the.
Yeah. If we let's say if we get a certain amount of likes on this live stream, I would jump in the pool.
Oh
what,
my gosh.
What are we gonna set it at?
It's not
500 likes.
That I like that number.
500
I like that.
likes. I'll
500
jump
likes.
in this pool at the end of the live stream.
Okay, yeah. Sure.
I hope to God we get 500 likes.
I know we're not gonna. So it's okay.
At 1,000 likes, I might join them. Just saying. Just saying. So
We'll start the cars ahead of time.
yeah, right. Yeah, get it cranked. So the common misconception is that these pool bladders are just for liner guys, so they can set the liner, do their cutouts, you know, quickly, get on to their next job, and that's great. It's great when it works out that way. But plaster guys, when you're finishing a new build or you're doing a new plaster job, what do you have to do? You got to fill that pool lickety split all the way. And when you're scheduling tankers, are they all going to get there when you need them to?
Sometimes finding those tankers.
Sure, you were kidding. Yeah, can I get 5 tankers parked outside this house when we're done? What? So again, you can stage these bladders around the pool for a plaster job, fill it lickety split, and even if you can't so let's say you've got, like in my area, I'm in northern New Jersey, Sussex County, New Jersey, Orange County, New York. Yes, the home of famous Orange County choppers. Come on by, I'll give you a tour. Up in the mountains, a lot of bears. We get Roy the bear living in my backyard. It's a good place. But everybody's on a well. I can't fill a pool with well water. I have to use tankers. But I can't necessarily get, if I'm doing a plaster job, I can't necessarily get a 5-6 tankers showing up at one time to fill a large pool. But I can get them to show up from time, whenever they're able to fill my pool bladders in advance. And 2 of our larger pool bladders equals 1 tanker. So we can easily stage that around around any pool. Fiberglass pools, you want to get that thing set, you want to get it backfilled, you want to connect your plumbing, and you want to get out of there. Once that crane drops it in the backyard, let's not dilly-dally. Let's finish the job. Again, you get the water weight in there, it settles, you hook everything up, and you're on to the next job. So it saves money, it saves time for everybody involved. And we'll get into the nuances of how you can sell more renovation jobs when you have these, because you're saving water, because you're saving salt, because you're saving chemicals. And even if you're charging a small amount, like a rental fee, let's say, for the use of the bladders, you're still beating your competition because they're having to get all new water, all new salt, all new chemicals to get the renovation job done from company X, let's say. So I'm going to take over your show, man.
Well, no.
That's the whole point of it, right?
No. You might have to repeat all that again.
Yeah, well, okay. I kind of have a script in my head.
Because people come in throughout the stream, and they're sometimes they're here. They're not only if anybody would like to let us know that they're here and they have any questions, you could always leave a comment, right?
Please, yeah. That's kind of the point of doing this live, is that questions can be answered on the spot.
On the spot.
And that's what I noticed you did something. It's a trick I use sometimes when I'm meeting with someone for the first time. Well, not that we're meeting for the first time, but I noticed you gave me the short chair.
I'll switch.
I'm kidding.
I didn't do that on purpose.
Steve's definitely trying to reestablish his alpha status here as he got it pulled.
I don't even know how these chairs
There's probably a lot of that. As I was saying, I met with a fiberglass manufacturer that's now carrying Kayden safety covers, Swim USA. Nice plug for Stacy and crew over there. And when I met with Stacy at her desk, I noticed, I sit down and I'm like looking up at her and I go, "Well played, Stacy." Well played. And it wasn't intentional. It was just like that. It was a small chair. What are you gonna do?
I've never seen chairs like this before.
They're
When
extremely
we went
comfortable.
shopping for computer chairs, I mean,
These are great.
these are nice.
I
Yeah.
would
Well,
love
you
to.
don't sweat on the
We
back.
I
went
love
to
2 of
Goodwill
these.
looking for computer
And
chairs.
we found 2 for $10 a
We
piece.
found
and
2 for
they're in
$10
great
a piece,
condition too.
Okay, truth be told, my computer chair at my desk, and I have a backup just in case, is for like the ultra mega beefcake boys. It's like a 300-pound weight limit because the ones that I was getting, like they weren't lasting. Okay, now that we got that out of the way.
So, Pops is on there.
Hey.
Pops?
Yep.
Hey, Pops.
Hey, Pops.
My mom is on there.
Hey, Mom.
Hey, Mom.
And Gina.
Hey, Gina.
Oh, let me
Hey.
does Gina
Yes.
want me to remove her as a moderator?
Oh.
Let's see.
Because I can, I don't know where the comments are.
Hmm.
Well, anytime anybody's a moderator on his channel, you can't comment on his short videos.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, which
Okay.
I don't understand why, but
Hmm.
like I could comment
here we
on
go.
long videos,
Right,
on
but
his
not the
lives, but not on the shorts.
That's weird.
So he had to
Yeah.
remove me also.
Okay. Huh.
Yeah, well, thanks to everybody joining in.
Yeah.
Thanks to everybody joining in. We gotta get more people on.
I drove 3 hours on a
This
Sunday
guy drove
morning
3
to
hours.
be here with you. So let's get this done.
Well, you must have some cool video ideas, right?
Oh, dude. I
Okay.
got the whole costume.
Because I told the whole world that the KAYDENATOR was going to be here.
Yeah.
So.
Yes, he
Ooh,
did.
Yeah, he'll be back, all right.
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll have to talk about what that means because there's a lot of winning that will be happening in Atlantic City this year, and not just at the tables.
Do you gamble at all?
Interesting story. So in my previous career, I think we might have talked about this in our last live
Yeah, we
feed.
should definitely share about that.
I was the tour manager for a pretty legendary punk band called the Misfits. I worked for them for 13 years, traveled all over the world with them. I was their tour manager, which is fancy terminology for babysitter for grown men. No lie. But in between tours, I would do like personal assistant gigs, that sort of stuff. And Marky Ramone of the world famous Ramones, Rock and Roll Hall of Fame inductees, actually, interestingly enough. He hired me as his personal assistant, just basically to carry his suitcase and get his coffee and make sure he showed up where he was supposed to be on time and hold his set list for him. Really simple stuff. He paid me like ludicrous money to do like the most mundane thing. But he's funny guy. We have very similar sense of humor, so we had a great time. Getting to the point. What was the point? No, getting to the point. But seriously, what was the point? Getting to the point was that. Dude, I seriously lost the point. What we're talking about?
Well,
We're talking about gambling.
Gambling. Thank you very much.
I had asked you. What
If I gamble. On one of the tours I did with him in Europe, I read literally cover to cover 10 books on how to count cards playing blackjack. I read them cover to cover, and then I went back and reread all the pertinent sections. So I came up with a system to where myself and 2 other people, each running separate counts, one for basic strategy deviation, one for betting correlation, one for insurance, we could beat a single deck blackjack game.
Yeah, no more single decks anymore.
I know. So here's how it works. The more decks in the shoe is the thing that holds all the cards, the more there are, the worse your chances are. Vegas knows this. So they used to have single deck blackjack, but that's kind of gone the way of the dodo. And then did you know there is a maximum, there's a minimum bet, you could do a $1 table or a $5 table or whatever, but at each one of those tables for blackjack specifically, there is also a maximum bet allowance.
Yep.
Why would they want you to limit the There's a reason. There's a system called the small martingale, where if you place a $5 bet on your hand and you lose, your next bet you place $10 and you lose. The next bet you place $20 and you lose. The next bet you place $40. You lose. Next bet you place $80. You finally win a hand.
And break even.
You just made back all the money you lost and you won that hand.
Yeah.
The casinos know this. So they put a $5 minimum, but like $100 maximum. So eventually you will top out on that small martingale and you'll lose a lot of money. So I read all these books with the idea that that was gonna be my living. I was gonna count cards. And I was like, but online they have single deck blackjack, where your odds are actually better just for basic strategy. Just playing smart blackjack, you have better odds playing a single deck than you do an 8-deck shoe online. And I'm like, this is gonna be great. I'm gonna count cards. I can keep track of stuff. Like nobody's gonna know I'm counting cards. This is how I'm gonna win. Well, counting cards doesn't work when you're playing on a digital format because every hand is a new shuffle. When you're counting cards, you are figuring out what's left in the deck based on what's been depleted so far. And when there's a new shuffle with every hand, all bets are off, literally.
No,
So I am not. I would have been a betting man, but I got shut
I don't
down.
play blackjack.
No.
I used to try blackjack, like when I was younger and I was, first allowed to go to the casino and stuff like that. But you go there with $100 and 5 minutes, it's gone.
Yeah.
And there's no.
Well, there is. So if you have, there's. I learned a lot reading these books. There's something called Gambler's Ruin, and if you have a $200 bankroll, then your standard bet size should not be more than say $5. And because you're always going to be doing this, riding the chaos theory of gambling. So with that bet correlation, standard bet correlation to your bank, that will determine what you can get away with and still ride that wave. The idea is to walk away when you're at the top of the peak and being able to weather the dips. There's a whole, we could make a whole 3-hour podcast or like that on this. We're supposed to be talking about pool.
Well, yeah, I mean, I work in the casino. Did he tell you that?
You did what?
I'm a table games
Yeah,
dealer.
my wife's a table games dealer.
No way.
She's actually
I'm-
a supervisor.
yeah,
too.
and a
She
floor
wears
supervisor.
You're like the pit boss?
Well, I'm a floor supervisor also, so yeah, I
Don't
do,
mess with
I do,
her.
I do both. So yeah, I've been doing it for a little over 6 years now.
Interesting.
So, yeah,
Okay.
yeah, MGM and.
So that's why every time
Springfield.
when we go to Atlantic City, she's walking around. I mean, she's critiquing all the.
Yeah, that's
all
what
the
you do.
dealers.
I can't.
It's like I go on
do that.
vacation, I'm like, look at the pool, like, well, I'm like,
That's what I like to do.
Right.
You know,
There's the pool bar
Oh.
in Atlantic City. They have the pool bar at Harris.
yes.
Johnny South says Marco.
Johnny
Oh,
South
wow.
says Marco Polo.
Yeah, my mom says Polo. Your mom is
What
on.
up, Johnny?
Your mom is on as well.
I tried to convince Johnny to come to Atlantic City, but he needs a sponsor,
Oh, okay.
like someone to pay the way
Hmm.
Yeah.
How expensive? Well,
Well,
travel expenses.
for the VIP ticket in to booth 2246, where Kayden Manufacturing is going to be.
Yeah.
I beat it. Just show up, man. Come on.
Yeah.
Heck, I'll give you a free pen for showing up.
Johnny's from North Carolina, and
Oh, that's a bit of.
when they had the flooded, you remember the
Yeah.
floods? He wasn't too far from a lot of that.
Ooh, that sucks.
But
Yeah, my mom.
Johnny knows a lot of stuff, believe it or not.
Really?
Yeah,
Okay.
he's always critical of the Doughboy pool, though. You know, the non-existent stretch factor of the Doughboy liners. The way they fold their liners with a machine, like into a teepee.
La la la. I'm okay. Yep.
I mean, let's take a 20 mil liner, right? And let's grab it in the middle, pick it up in the air, twist it around a million times, and then sandwich it all together, throw it in a box, and just say, "Here, go install it."
Yeah, that's an easy,
Yeah,
very easy
Yes.
unfold, right?
Right. I am never one. Not the
Johnny
joke.
South said, "Beep, go boy."
I am never not the Doughboy is our competition because we don't even do above ground liners, and I'm never one to speak ill of the competition.
Right.
But yeah, had some issues.
Did we tell
Right.
everybody? Did we tell everybody 500 likes? I'm gonna jump in the pool.
Oh yeah, no, they didn't hear that part.
It's because you gotta do a like a little pole thingy.
Vegas Villain says, "Hello, pool."
Vegas
people."
villain.
Vegas. I like the name. Dang.
Right.
If my memory, I'm hot on the spot live, but if my memory serves me correct, Vegas villain's from Mississippi.
That's a funny name to use when you're.
Johnny South said, "Use ratchet straps to stretch that mother."
He did. He sent me pictures. He literally had clamps and ratchet straps
Really?
hooked onto the liner because he does all his work by himself. He doesn't have.
Dude.
He does everything by himself.
Yeah, right.
Wow.
Yeah.
I did one above ground liner by myself. Although, okay, I will. I'll quantify that. My water delivery guy, Joe Funari, waterman, love you, dude, held my skimmer for me as I was putting the screws in. But yeah, doing it all by yourself. Dang.
From Vegas, Steve. A lot of pools out here. He is from Vegas.
Vegas villains from
Vegas.
Okay, that
So
makes
nice.
sense.
Well, no, I mean,
Grandma Z, your mom. She
My
says
apologies,
hi.
of course.
She said hi, Jim.
I love
Welcome
Vegas.
to Vernon's
I've been to Vegas. I spent an entire.
edition of Steve's Got It Pool.
I spent an entire summer in Vegas in '96, building patio covers.
Oh.
It was when the Stratosphere was being built. I remember that.
Wow. Did you ever do the roller coaster at the top?
No, it was still under construction.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you do that seat launch at the top, you go up so high that you no longer see the platform underneath you, and it's just you and the sky.
I want to go to Vegas and critique pools in Vegas,
Dude,
and do a whole little series on it.
you better hope the mob doesn't catch you doing that.
Yeah, right.
Mob big pools, I don't know.
Yeah.
Critiquing. That's it.
They run Vegas.
Well, I wouldn't say critique. But
Okay.
find the pool maintenance person
Right.
for each pool and talk to them and have them explain the system, the pump, the filter, and how they we just kind of document it along the way,
Right.
and we critique it after we leave.
Vegas Villain says, do any pool work out here? I am a repairman working on pool equipment.
See, that's stuff that you probably don't see me doing a lot of on my channel, is messing around with the pool equipment.
Right.
I think a lot of people can, I've
They want
always
to hear you cursing at the heaters. Is that what?
my domain with the pools is 3 feet outside of the pool and inside the pool.
Okay.
Johnny South wants to know if you are going to build or are you going to design a bladder for uneven ground.
Okay, we've
The
got a
need
question
here
for Jeff
is
finally.
real.
Okay. The need is real, and it's not so much the bladder that needs to be designed differently, because it's a bladder. Not much we can do about that. We do have what we call the yard berm system. It's where you would place, if you have, I think we can offset, and Jeff Kayden will probably correct me on this down the road. I want to say a 30% incline. I don't have a flat level to work with. Like you said, out in the field, yeah, that sounded great to put it next to the pool, but I can't. It's over there now. It's going to happen. If we have an incline, we can place the bladder sort of diagonally, like diamond shaped on that incline, and then we have a set of 14 gauge galvanized steel, just same as your pool wall, heavy duty stuff, that you can place in the ground. We use rebars to like lock them in, then we use like a pressure treated 2x8 to kind of create this 2 channels on one on either side to cradle the pool bladder in, so there's no chance for it to slip or slide or roll.
I've seen them roll.
That's gotta be scary.
I've seen them roll. So let me just give my little.
So we do have a system.
So let me just give a little insight as in a response to the system here. Yeah.
System. I love how you put the system in
As
quotes.
I was listening to you talk, all I'm thinking about is
Jim, you're wrong. That's completely foul. What?
how are we going to be hauling this stuff around? We need
Right.
we need a vehicle that's another trailer. It's more stuff that we got to lift into the backyard. Some sites we're walking 100 feet.
Oh yeah, gotta love
For
those
us,
tools.
for us on when we're on the job site, we just look for large areas of grass.
Yeah.
We get down like Tiger Woods when he's trying to put on the
Yeah.
18th green at the Masters, and we just try to find that nice little roll,
Uh-huh.
and we take a step back, we look at it a little more, and we're like, no, we might need to pivot it a little more, and then when you first start putting the water in the bladder, you're gonna get a blast of a few thousand, or not 1,000 gallons. I'm saying maybe like 50 gallons in real quick, and you can see where the water's going. Sometimes you can still even tweak them a little bit, and you just make sure that all the water's funnel into that tail, which got so much criticism in that video that had 700 and some odd thousand views, where people were confused with the vent and the tail on the bladder. And one person, I wish. I know I took screenshots on my phone, but I meant to like print up comments and things like that so we could like read them and stuff like that.
Yeah, well, I'm here to address all those questions.
But I think we've already got into it with John's question of.
Well, it says I have to use the blow-up ring. Pool holds 5,000 gallons, but can only put in about 3,500 to 4,000 because of the mountain terrain out here.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
That's about how much your bladders are holding.
Our biggest bladder is 3,500. The most popular bladder though is 3,000, and the reason for the difference. So one's a 15 by 15 square, holds 3,500 gallons. The 10 by 20 rectangle. Think about the footprint that a rectangle makes. That fits around a pool better than a big square does. The difference is only 500 gallons. When you're talking about a 30,000 gallon pool, why are we concerned about 500 gallons? So we sell the 10 by 20 by, and I'll get into pricing. I'll get into dry weight. I'll get into the sizes, all that stuff. I brought the sales sheet, so I have all that. I'm not making it up as I go along. And I have a special actually for the viewers today.
A special?
A special at the Atlantic City show, as per tradition. We put our pool bladders on sale as just to get foot traffic into our booth. But for viewers today, if you are interested in purchasing a Kayden pool bladder, giving it a try, that special price that we're doing in Atlantic City, if you call us up, say next week, and we'll be back in the office tomorrow morning, Monday morning, the whatever date that is, the 6th, thank you, and say, hey, I saw Jim on Steve Goddard Pools talking about the pool bladder, and he said I could get a discount. I will make sure you get the same discount we're doing in Atlantic City, just for Steve Goddard.
So we're gonna make a video of that later.
Heck yeah, we are.
Yeah, because
We have a busy schedule today, bro.
I think the best way to spread that message along is gonna be through.
Johnny South wants to know, do you have storage bags or barrels?
I love Johnny South for his
Right?
fucking
You got
question.
the best question, man. What do you
I
do?
just swore on the live stream.
Oh my god. I'm waiting for the FCC to show
I
me.
know, I'm sorry, it won't ever
Shut
get...
it down!
All right,
shut
I was
it
never
down.
here. Taking my pool bladder and going home.
I have a very dirty mouth.
Oh, that's why I love you, man. You, again,
I'm
I.
trying to say thanks, Johnny, for the questions, because that really
That's-
helps the live stream out better.
Yeah, so he wants to know
Yes,
about
F and thanks.
storage
Right.
bags. He said, I love you too, boo boo.
I know the product, but you have by
Is Johnny
far.
still in there as a moderator, or did I...
He is.
Let me
Oh,
take
you gotta fix that too.
Alright, we'll go ahead and answer his question.
So
about
Steve
that.
has much more experience in the field working with these than I do, and I hear secondhand. So my experience with how do you transport a pool bladder? Well, it goes in a cardboard liner.
Sorry,
box and
Vegas.
Ship it to you, but that's not realistic in the real pool world out there.
For not remembering you're from Vegas. Thinking you're from
With a name like that. I often hear dealers say, yeah, we put them in like a heavy duty Tupperware bin. But the best suggestions I've heard.
A Rubbermaid barrel is good.
Now were you the one somebody told me about using like the heavy duty trash cans that have wheels? 'Cause
We haven't done the ones with the wheels, but that's a great idea.
it's a hand truck together with your storage bin.
Well, that's what we do as a hand truck, but I wonder how those wheels would last going through mud and stuff like that. But
if the trash can is big enough.
we get pretty wild out there in the field,
You
man.
have
You
to.
know, but for the average company that's not working in the rain and not working in
Lucky
the
guys,
mud.
we got.
And the
Can I get a job there? No rain, pool guys.
Yeah, I can see those barrels and wheels working fabulous for me.
Customers used to ask me. I was a service guy for a good decade plus back before I came on board with Kayden. 6 years ago now.
Tell Johnny, look up Lord Humongous cosplay.
Vegas Villain wants to know.
Vegas Villain 2. Look up Lord Humongous cosplay.
Well, Vegas.
You might be frightened by what you find.
That's him.
That was me in my 40s. I'm in my 50s now.
Vegas
But
wants-
is it true that if they ever came out with another Mad Max movie, that the original Lord Humongous said that you could play the new character?
I wish there were.
It's not true?
No,
I swear I read that.
If Shell Nelson, the guy who played the Lord Humongous originally, he did say publicly that I was the next generation of this evil character.
Yeah.
And I did have ice cream with him at Baskin Robbins in Alaska, in Australia. So I guess that makes it true, right? It's gotta be. It's on the internet.
There's a lot of stuff about you on the internet.
Yeah, a lot of it we shouldn't talk about.
Vegas Villain wants to know if you've ever worked on plaster pools.
The only thing that I ever did with a plaster pool was a plaster hot tub where I cut a section of it out for mortaring in a new return fitting, and then we used like the white marble dust kind of stuff on it and just kind of patched it in from there. But you know, I'll be honest, gunite pools, plaster pools, whatever you want to call them, they scare me. They scare me because I just don't like concrete. I don't like. I mean, I like concrete. Don't get me wrong when it's used in the right applications. But as a liner installer, there's so many times you've gone to like dig up a skimmer and it's encased in concrete.
Oh,
I'll tell you a story.
Yeah.
This is a quick little story. If my dad's still watching, he'll remember it. But we were working out on Fisher's Island, and it's a 7-mile long island, and I had been doing pool work prior to working with my dad out on Fisher's Island, and we found a client to work on his pool, and I tried pressure testing his plumbing lines, and everything was like losing pressure. The guy told me he's having problems. I was like, oh, no problem, we can fix it. Meanwhile, I'm telling my dad, I've never worked on a gunite pool. Are you sure that I'm going to be able to do this job? And he's like, it's just like any other pool. It's
Sure it is.
same stuff. It's got plumbing lines and everything like that. And I was like, okay. So we went and I ordered a new pump and a new filter, and we had hired people from Labor Ready to come out and start trenching for new plumbing lines and everything like that. And I got over to where we were gonna start removing the bluestone around the patio, and I'm not even kidding you. The entire pool patio had 2 feet of concrete.
Johnny says that concrete pools are as easy as liner, just a little more destructive labor.
I've watched a lot of videos. On repair work, on how they fix cracks. A lot of that seems very interesting, and it's just
How your dad said, good memory.
Yeah. Well, so what the rest of the story is. I called my dad and I said, I don't know what I'm doing, and I think we're just going to have to fill in the holes and walk away from the job. And it's kind of what happened.
Right.
But I ended up getting things running with temporary plumbing on top of the pool patio.
Yes. Oh boy, how many times have we seen that?
Just so that the pool wouldn't turn to garbage, while we were doing everything. I don't think that if I could have done that whole pool, that whole situation all over again, I think we would have gotten at that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, now.
No.
Yeah.
With the knowledge that you have.
Sure.
Yeah. I would have gotten a little. I would have destroyed the entire pool.
Yeah.
And just rebuilt it if I had to.
Yeah. I always said my main focus was always vinyl liners, just by happenstance, just my area. But there were cement shells that I would work on from time to time. Probably the most nerve-wracking thing I did was having to empty a cement pool to do an acid wash and a paint job when there weren't any hydrostatic relief valves in the main drains. So do I drill holes in the shell? God forbid, as we're working on this thing, we get a rainstorm and then pop the shell. It kept me awake at night, worrying about this shell popping out of the ground, because you're always thinking, worst case scenario, what do I do now? So yeah, at least with a vinyl liner, oh yeah, we got groundwater. Okay, suck it out. Let's keep going. But yep.
I got groundwater on this pool that I'm working on now. It's actually originally it was a fiberglass pool. They built steel walls, and then they painted that marina paint on the sides, but then the whole floor is fiberglass.
Oh gosh.
And it has the groundwater. So I think once I get into it, I'm gonna have to get down there. I think I'm gonna have to cut a hole out of the floor.
Yeah.
You make sure it's got stone underneath.
Yeah.
And so that way, if the groundwater ever comes back down the road, I don't want the pool to be a pool, because it'll just eventually collecting and float the liner. We've run into that situation before.
And Johnny said, learned on concrete and transitioned to liners when I moved to North Carolina in '94. And Vegas Villain says, yo Steve, do you have any experience cleaning pools and balancing chemistry of the water?
That's a great question. The first pool that I ever actually cleaned, I think I figured out a way to where I could probably upload that video or that picture, but it's a picture of me. I think I was right around 5 years old or so, cleaning a pool, an above ground pool.
Wow.
When my dad was the project manager at all these big giant construction builds in apartment buildings in San Jose and San Francisco, I used to go out there and stay with him during the summer and stuff like that, and I would go around cleaning the pools that within the complex. He set everything up for me to the point where I just had to stand there and just kind of vacuum. But I can tell you that I own a hot tub, and it's currently not usable because I'm not good at water chemistry or balancing the water in my hot tub. The pool, I think I did a pretty good job of keeping the pool clean all year long. It was ran off a sand filter. We had a chlorinator. I didn't add all of these weird stuff. I just kept it to chlorine, pH, and alkalinity.
Mhm.
I think I had some clarifier or stabilizer or something. Maybe I added a couple times here or there, but
pH 7.4, alkalinity 110 to 120, calcium 200. And then
I didn't
Johnny
do
said, "You hiring Mr. Villain?"
I remember.
Johnny would love to go work in Vegas.
Oh, yeah. I remember taking the exam for CSP, Certified Service Professional. That's like the highest level of PHTA for like a service tech. And the section, this was back when the binder was 4 inches. Might have a different book now. This is dating me right now. But the section on chemistry was like 120 pages.
Well, Gina says it's easy once you understand.
Once you understand it, true. That is
Gina
true.
can finally go comment on my shorts now. I don't know
Good job,
why
Gina.
YouTube does that, but when you
Yeah.
make people a moderator on your live stream, they're not allowed to comment on your shorts. They won't even be able to see your shorts.
Johnny says he's told you before.
What?
Get some test strips and show me on your YouTube. You'll have it balanced.
I know.
Yeah.
So they
I
can't
can't-
comment on your short. Like if you came walking in with your Bermuda shorts, be like nice shorts. They can't say that. It's unfortunate.
On my long videos, yes.
Oh, okay. That has nothing to do with Bermuda
But for some reason, live stream moderators are not allowed to see or
Oh, I
comment
can't even see them.
on your
Okay.
shorts. So imagine how my wife felt
Yes.
for the last X amount of months,
Yeah.
where my channel's blowing up with millions of views and she can't see any of the
Can't
comments.
say nothing. Oh boy.
Yeah, it was a lot. It was great.
Yeah. Yeah. The thing about chemistry, it can be simple, and at times it can be extremely complicated. You get like a chlorine lock, and you're like, why do I have a chlorine lock? Do I have phosphates in the water? Like, what is going on? I actually almost got a job based on my water chemistry knowledge with Ecolab, big chemistry company. They were going to create a position in White Plains, New York for me based on that knowledge. And at about the same time, Jeff Kayden called me and he's like, "No, man, don't do that. That's monkey. Come work for me." And I was like, "Yeah, Jeff, I think you're right."
How many
So,
years have you and Jeff been together?
well, I've been at Kayden Manufacturing for 5.5 years, but I was a Kayden dealer for close to a decade prior to.
I feel like I've known you for as long as you've been with Kayden.
Well, no, it might just feel like that because I'm kind of like a fungus that is growing. Sorry. No, we first met in Atlantic City last year.
Last year was the
January
first
21.
one?
You stopped by the booth. We did a quick
Oh
snippet.
yeah, you're right.
And then you were like, "Hey, we just
Because
reached out on
Jeff
Facebook."
was too scared to have the camera in front
This
of
is
him.
true.
Okay, so the God's honest truth as to why I work at Kayden Manufacturing. Jeff Kayden, brilliant guy, amazing engineer. Love the way his liners always fit flawlessly, but he's not a get in the front of the camera and talk kind of guy.
He has in some of your videos.
He has, and he does all his own stunts.
Yeah,
Okay, not gonna lie. Check out the Kayden YouTube video. It's friggin' hilarious. I make sure that it is. But yeah,
Was that a real drone or was that one you inserted? Like,
I had a real drone, but it was some of my kids had it. I couldn't get it working, so I had to just take a PNG of a drone and just move it around, and that was all put in post. Like the guys were like literally waving the brooms at nothing, and Jeff's dodging. But he literally dove into that vinyl cart and it wheeled away. Like that's not CG. Jeff Kayden actually
Your
doing
mom
stuff.
wants to know where's the margaritas.
Oh, right. Okay, come on down. Mom. Let's go. I'm buying.
well, that's what didn't you and my mom have a margarita? Yeah.
Working hours. Working hours.
Johnny says that it's now 5.5 inches thick, depending upon the state.
Mm-hmm.
What is?
The cement.
The cement.
Yeah.
For a pool patio?
Yeah. Vegas Villain. Serious question. How do you feel about Hayward? I see a lot of Hayward products in your videos.
Yeah. Yeah.
Johnny said.
Vegas villain.
Yeah. Well, I know, right?
Another
Like, we
good
don't want
question.
to shoot ourselves in the foot here, but it's an interesting question.
Mixed feelings.
We'll
I
both
don't
comment
know
on it.
how many people are watching right now.
You got 10.
All right.
Okay,
There's only
there
10
you go, that's
people
safe,
watching
that's
this
safe.
video.
For now.
You're almost at 500 likes, by the way, so get ready.
Yeah.
Take a dive. Bless you.
Last year, Hayward took us out to a dinner, and at that time I had right around 2,000 subscribers, and I was talking to one of the main people. I'll keep his name out of it, from Hayward, and told him that I wanted to come by his booth, kind of like how I did with you
Right.
and everything like that. And then of course, so when I showed up, he just made me feel like it was a bad time. and there was too many investors around in the booth that he didn't want to see that he was recording.
You don't have to worry about that at Kayden. We have no investors.
So, and he's just like, again, he told me, come back later,
Yeah.
which I never went back,
Right.
and nor will I go into the Hayward booth while I'm shooting footage, while I'm in the Atlantic City Pool Show. Hayward, of course, definitely has great products, and they definitely have poor plastic products, such as faceplates that go around returns.
That crack.
That crack.
All the time.
Every single time. And I just think that that's a little silly. And
It makes you buy more.
It makes you buy more.
Okay.
Makes you buy more.
I see.
I get that. But unfortunately, we get a lot of service calls where customers are losing water, and we will go out there to do pressure tests where techs are putting screw plugs in, and then pressure testing, not realizing that maybe once they're pumping air, they could be losing pressure through the cracks in the faceplate. And that's also actually where you're getting a lot of water loss from. But some of these techs aren't understanding it because they don't know that. They just put the screw plug in and then they pressure test, and they're like, oh, your returns are bad. So now we're charging thousands of dollars to customers to get new plumbing lines replaced underground. We're cutting their patios when all it was a cracked faceplate.
Ouch.
I think that's a big issue.
Yeah,
I really do.
Yeah.
Johnny South says that he uses CMP faceplates.
And I know that like Canada uses Jacuzzi.
Kayden Manufacturing. We got CMP faceplates.
See, I don't know. I don't know any. You showed them to me when we were there.
When you buy a Kayden liner, you can specify that you want deco trim, which means color matched CMP faceplates that match the liner pattern. Light blue, dark blue, tan, gray, black, whatever. It could be white if you want them. But yeah, that brings up a good point. I don't want to besmirch anybody's hardworking name, but that I recognize the issue and agree that CMP.
We're talking about a faceplate, but at the same time, I mean, when a car goes bad and has a broken part, they do a recall. I don't think that. I just think that it's a bigger issue than people realize.
Sure. I've had many service calls back in the day for cracked faceplate. Oh, water loss, and I find a cracked faceplate. No, you're not losing water anymore.
Johnny South says dye test.
Yeah.
Again, it's still money that a customer has to spend to have somebody dye.
The diver got to go in and
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
As an old service guy, $5 faceplate.
Over $5. Yeah. As an old service guy with the majority of the pumps, filters, and maybe not so much the heaters, but definitely pumps and filters being Hayward brand, all of my service vans had to be stocked with Hayward parts, which is, good on you, Hayward. You did a great job with the marketing and getting the product out there. And almost for that, taking that mentality one step further, when somebody asked me for a recommendation, what pump should I get? What filter should I get? Well, knowing that Hayward has such a large market share and that every pool guy is going to have those parts, it might not be a bad idea to go with the majority and do it. Does Pentair make a great product? Yes, they do. Does Jandy make a great product? Yes, they do. And there's other brands out there as well. But there's whatever your priority is. Let's say that's how you make the choice.
Yeah. So I hope that answered Vegas
question.
question.
Roundabout sort of way.
Yeah.
Gabriel.
Is Gabriel the one from Mississippi? Somebody's from Mississippi, darn it.
We're gonna get to the bottom of this by hook or by crook.
Do you have?
I think Gabriel's from New York. Gabriel's either from New York or Mississippi.
Well, he says you have that opinion about all their faceplates, such as skimmer faceplates.
No,
they're
that's the thing is the Hayward skimmer faceplates are solid.
Yep.
Solid. They're light ring. The 10-inch light ring, solid.
Solid. You can play frisbee with that thing.
And in order to get a good seal on these faceplates, I mean, you have to
crank them down.
And we're not able to do it. And I don't know. I don't mean to harp on it, but I think it's a major issue that's not talked about.
That's part of your daily.
And I think there's a lot of people that just aren't aware of the issue, and that's just all I want to do is just make people aware of the issue. I think it's a very simple fix by Hayward.
Gabriel's from Rhode Island. You're not doing good.
Man, I am striking out. But I'm remembering now.
You live in the U.S., don't you? I know you do. You're on planet Earth, right? I got that down. Yeah.
It blows my mind, honestly. I'll be honest. I've shed tears over this channel. I really have. You know, you can ask my wife. She'll tell you. I come walking through the door after editing, and I got tears going down my eyes because I'm proud of a video or I'm proud of a comment that I got.
Nice.
You know, this is my livelihood. You know, and this is my only chance to win the lotto. So we're gonna keep trying until I win the lotto, right?
Well, God's honest truth. I aspire to get to where you are. My job at Kayden Manufacturing, for those that don't know, because probably who cares? Why would anybody know? I'm the director of sales and marketing, but I'm also the technical specialist. Meaning, if you're a Kayden dealer and you're measuring something or installing a Kayden product and you're having an issue, you're not sure about, I'm the guy you reach out to. Office hours, evenings, weekends, you text me. I'm helping you out. That keeps me pretty busy. Okay, as you know with marketing, you gotta stay on, and then before you know it, you've got some random video that's got like 750,000 views. Like, wow, how did that happen? That's what I should be doing, but I've got that rabbit hole, and that rabbit hole, and and it's all tech support. I need to take that tech support hat off and hand it to somebody whom I trust to handle the job properly, because I'm very particular about that sort of thing, and then focus on just the marketing and the sales, so I can be as cool as Steve over here. Yeah, that's my aspiration right now.
Johnny says, I think if you change both rubbers, you don't have to tighten so hard.
With the Hayward
I'm not
14,
sure question.
the 1408 faceplate, it has the ridge on the back of the faceplate, which technically means you only need one rubber gasket. The old 1411s were smooth on the back, the one that they're the little.
Those you need a gasket.
You have to have two gaskets.
We call them old style and new style.
And it's funny, the old style has the lower number. I don't know why.
You know, believe it or not, I like the old. Those don't crack.
Right.
Those faceplates don't crack.
Right.
The old style.
Yeah.
It's just the new style.
It's
only the new
1411s.
You know, but I'm just not a big fan of the old style face, because I think, well, the old style ones used to butt up to the back of the wall. People can correct me if I'm wrong, but then they came out with a different model where they had the wing nut. You know,
right,
still the old style fixture, but it was then put in from the inside with the nut.
Yeah.
But the old ones used to have the gasket on the back of the wall. So then over time, as the wall's rusting, or you're getting that cracked faceplate, which is developing a leak, which is creating rust on your walls.
Yep.
It develops a bigger problem. You know, so I just, you know, I don't want to bash, you know, the largest company in the pool industry.
Any company. No.
You know.
Have you ever encountered an above ground return fitting on an in ground pool?
Yes, I have.
Isn't that like, what do I do now?
Yes, I have.
There was a pool in New York.
I just
many years
did
ago.
one not too long ago. It was on the golf course beside where they played the Women's U.S. Open. That one.
Who thought that was a good idea?
That's a great question.
Right? You just throw your hands and go, great.
Usually it's the engineers.
Damn it!
Throwing that out there.
Vegas Villain says, I am surprised to see how busy you guys have been in the winter.
Yeah.
We've progressively here at Giuliano's Pools steadily gotten busier and busier throughout the winters. This is actually the first year that I'm like taking, you know, this winter very serious as far as like not begging for time off and vacation time and things like that. I'm ready to go gung ho this winter and start, you know, getting as much footage as I can to develop videos for the channel.
I'm here on a Sunday because this guy's like Mr. Busy Pants. I'm like, oh, come on Friday. Like, I can't. I'm working. I'm like,
well, now I owe you another trip down there, so we can. The live stream down there was great.
That was fun.
It was
Johnny says, I have always used either two rubbers or a piece of liner behind the faceplate.
Yeah.
The problem I have is the blue color match fades out quicker than all other colors for some reason.
Does it really? A light blue or dark blue, Johnny? What's your experience been? I'm curious. Because this stuff, you know, if it's a product I sell, I need to be aware of the downsides. Let's see what he said. Look, how are we doing on time?
No, I was. Does it feel a little chilly?
It's freezing.
It does feel
I'm
Oh, it's
cold.
right there. Oh, just put it back to that when we're done.
There we go. It's been awfully cold up here. Yeah, so
I'm cold.
pool guys being busy in the north, it's like I don't know if that's a new phenomenon, but it kind of is to me.
He said both blues.
Both the dark and the light.
He said the
fade.
dark turns purplish.
Interesting. Maybe we should make a purple liner.
That would be cool.
Right?
Who is it? Merlin there has the pink and purple liner. Have you seen that?
Yeah.
Yeah, for breast cancer, right?
Yeah, it's like the breast cancer awareness liner. Yeah.
And did they have the 3D one? Was that them that you put on the 3D glasses or the 3D goggles?
I don't know. I haven't seen
forget
that
now.
one.
For the first time in Kayden history, Kayden's been around 18 years now. For the first time in the history of our company in 2025, we are bringing out exclusive patterns to Kayden that you will not find anywhere else.
That's good.
Yes.
That's
It's about time.
That's good.
As the director of marketing, I'm like, yeah,
I want nothing more for Kayden Manufacturing to grow into something that's going to compete with the big dogs because, you know, and here's the reason why, and this might make it more sense, you know, because I relate to that better.
Right.
You know, I'm seeing a company that, you know, doesn't have that big name, you know, trying to get a piece of the pie too, you know, working hard. And proving that they're working hard, you know, and that's what I try to do.
Right.
Maybe that's the only reason, you know, it could be one of the reasons that my channel is succeeding to the point where it is now because I'm trying to demonstrate through hard work and dedication that big things can happen with your life. So
sure.
I have a lot of subscribers that have been with me. You know, I'll tell you, Simply Capped is a subscriber that I've had since I had maybe 400 subscribers. And he's a viewer that's been with me through the whole, you know, growth of the channel, and I that's what I love the most for my subscribers that have been with me for a while is they're literally watching the progression of my life and where I'm heading and things like that, and that's what I like, you know. I enjoy that part of it a lot.
So Vegas Villain wants to know what's the wackiest colors, design liners you have ever seen.
The pink and the purple one.
Johnny says.
The ones with the dolphins on it.
Johnny says, I'm sorry, I am a Merlin man, but I might have to convert. He says that I'll be calling on Monday for some samples and pricing.
You got it, man. We'll get you hooked
Johnny,
up.
he'll hook you up, man.
Yeah, the best thing to do is just have an option in your back pocket should you need it. You know,
Do you have dealers in you would have to
all over the country?
because you have to forward him to somebody from North Carolina, right? Or can Johnny deal with you directly?
We only deal direct. We don't. There's only one distributor that we sell through right now because they are still a mom. H.C. Harrington, giving you a shout out in Pittsburgh. They're still a mom and pop, independently owned and operated establishment because we want to be dealer direct. What happens when you are a Kayden dealer is you have direct tech support. That thing I just said about I can text my tech guy, my tech support guy on an evening, on a weekend, on a holiday, and he'll get back to me as quick as he can. Try getting that through distribution. And not to speak ill of distribution. It has its merit by all means. But yeah, no, dude, give us a call Monday, reach out, and I'll get you samples, safety cover samples, vinyl samples, brochures, whatever. But I wanted to point out, truth be told, we are sitting in the Giuliano's Vernon location. You guys have several locations.
Yes,
we do.
Yeah. The Giuliano, big company. I would love to be doing business with Giuliano's.
Part of and watch grow. It's been great.
Right? And we Giuliano's.
I did the drywall in this.
You're like a freaking diamond, like multifacets you've got. Kayden has done business with Giuliano's in the past. We are not currently doing business with Giuliano's right now. No liners, no covers. Some full bladders. So I'm not here because this is one of my dealers. I'm here because Steve and I share a similar vision of we've got knowledge, we've got some information, let's share it with the masses. When I do classes for the Northeast Spawn Pool Association at the Atlantic City show or at the Hamilton headquarters, I'm working with guys like Mark Corneli from Merlin, Ken Harris from Merlin. I took a loop block rep out for drinks after a party we had. We're all in this together, guys. We're all trying to just earn a living, feed our families, and get it done. So you might think, these companies are my competition. On paper, maybe. At the show, we're hugs and hey, good to see you. Hey, Phil Saltzman from Myco, good to see you again. Thanks for teaching me how to install safety covers now that I'm one of your competitors. Who cares? Whatever. It's like, we have a higher purpose, I think is what I'm getting at. I think that's.
I like
Johnny
that.
South said
like
he used Homestead as backup sometimes. They're out of Ohio.
Mm-hmm.
He does about 16 and 20 liners a season all alone. He doesn't know.
That's what really blows me away.
The first time I linked up with Johnny was through a sand bottom, I believe.
Oh,
if I'm I'm not
fun.
mistaken.
Yeah.
I love
Johnny
sand
can
bottoms.
correct
I
me.
used to charge extra for sand bottoms, especially
I
the,
actually
the
like
right sand.
the sand bottoms.
My wife trials sand.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, here's one of the things I will warn people about when it comes to sand bottoms is when there's a safety ledge and it's hot and they're filling with their garden hose. That sand that I'll bring a third guy to a sand bottom job just to
Just to
keep
constantly
just to
wet.
keep the water spritzing, keep the sand
Yeah.
moist so it stays put while I'm working.
Right.
But if you've got that safety ledge under there and you run the liner and it's August and they're filling with the garden hose, which is going to take days, that sand is going to dry out quickly and that safety ledge is going to go. And that what was 6 inches when you finish troweling and when the pool's finally filled and they've got like 3 inches left and now they're complaining they want money back. You're like, you're the one who wanted to fill with the garden hose. I could have brought pool bladders in. See how that segue, right? That was good. Could have brought your pool
Biggest
bladders.
villain
Yeah.
wants to know how many gallons was this biggest pool liner you have ever installed?
Oh, jeez.
50,000 gallons maybe it held.
Johnny South said that he's done 3,400,000 gallons on a commercial.
3
How
million.
much did that weigh?
Made,
That must have been made on
it was
site.
made in place.
That's a membrane. Okay, yeah, you
Yeah.
can't ship that.
As
Yeah.
far as a liner that was pre-made in a factory, I can tell you that we needed an excavator to transport it from the truck to the inside of the pool.
Johnny South said you're wrong. He said it was a liner measure live you had, and he gave you the plumb bob suggestion.
That's right.
Oh, he's calling you out, man. You are wrong.
Sand
wrong.
glue, Sir Sand Glue.
I'm back.
You just had to take a moment. Shut down there. That's funny. Yeah, we do some commercial liners from time to time, and they're like 600 pounders. I mean, you got to get a forklift or something to move this thing around. They're no joke. But once you get to that 3 million, I mean, you're definitely assembling that on site. That's
What when we did the Henry Park pool right here in Vernon.
It's funny when you say Vernon. I live in Vernon, New Jersey. He's talking Vernon, Connecticut. I'm like, wait, what?
They came down from Canada, I believe, and did that liner up
Okay.
here. Yeah, I took last year. I took a class on how those membranes are put together.
Oh, really?
With that little
With
tool.
the yellow
and
tool.
I'm good with all that.
Yeah. I have a dealer in Maryland who used to do just membranes, and he wanted to try a pre-manufactured liner. And once he did, he was like, "Why was I doing membranes? That was so much more work. I'll just send you the measurements, and it comes pre-made." But each job has its own. We need this or we need that, so specific to whatever. But
You want to show your bladder?
oh, the pool bladder. If I could, personal. Isn't that why we're here to talk about the pool bladder? Yeah, let's show the bladder, but let's talk about it. Let me pick up my chair with my butt when I leave.
Are you going to be doing a demonstration? You need some camera space?
Oh, okay. Johnny South said it was 340,000. Well, you got an extra zero in there,
That's I was
Johnny,
gonna say
just so you know. I can read
ginormous.
numbers.
So Giuliano's has, I'm going to assume, an assortment of the 20 longs and the 15 squares, and I know you have a special one too.
We do.
For certain.
We do that I personally repaired.
Good job. And that's one of the cool things about the pool bladder. Where did the pool bladder start? Kayden Manufacturing, looking to keep their employees busy in the wintertime. And look, we have all these discontinued patterns of vinyl that we can't do anything with now. What do? Jeff Kayden created the pool bladder. So originally, going back 12, 13, 14, whatever.
So these are all made out of discontinued
No,
items around?
no, that's why I bring it up. Originally, that was the concept. But as we know, vinyl stretches.
Yeah.
It'll, under certain circumstances, it'll stretch 300%, get boiling water on it, see what happens. Rubber band. So as this evolved, it changed from you making it out of discontinued vinyl patterns to actually making it out of a reinforced vinyl. Everybody's familiar, most people are going to be familiar with
You had
solid.
this thing sitting on your lap for a long time.
Is it warm? People are familiar with solids. That's an older style. We'll talk about that. You know the new cap. Familiar with safety covers. Solid safety cover material is a polyester weave that is vinyl coated on both sides, and it's about a 12-ounce weight. This material is a polyester weave, vinyl coated both sides, and a 22-ounce weight. So it's not going to stretch like the pool liner will. The idea is we need to be cognizant of holding 3,000 or 3,500 gallons in one place.
You got a clamp right here too.
Oh yeah, I'm pulling all the stops.
This is.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
This is the famous tail that caused so much commotion. I don't mean to interrupt.
No, it's so good. Well, you got the real world applications here. So they come in 4 convenient sizes. Truth be told, the smaller 2 probably more for hot tub use. The bigger 2 got to be more for pool use. Can you do a liner change with just one of these? Not unless it's a small above ground pool. 3,000 gallons is not going to make a huge impact in your hopper when you're doing a 20 by 40. I always equated how much water was needed by how many tankers had to show up to do a liner change. You might need 4 of these, you might need 6, you might need 8, depending on what you're trying to do. And with a vinyl liner, you're probably just trying to fill the hopper, get 6 into the water in the shallow end, pull your QVACs, do your cutouts, get paid, and get on your way to the next job. Because now you're done. That liner's in, it's ready to go. You could be doing 2 in-ground liner jobs a day with the same crews with these pool bladders. You really liked it. The original clamps were wood. They were blaze orange wood.
I liked the wood ones.
Did you really?
I'm not.
You would.
I don't like the metal ones.
Why not? You ever cut your fingers? No.
That's the first thing that comes.
Is
to
it
mind.
really okay?
Yeah, ripping the bladder or anything like that. But we've had situations where this is what happened on the big one. All right, I'll tell you right now exactly what happened. Why the big one broke.
Okay.
So when we're filling in the bladder, we put one of those kiddie slides.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like a kiddie slide that comes up about yay high.
Yep, I've got one on my record.
And we bring the tail. And we ride it up so that the top of the slide is like right here.
Yep.
And we shove the holes in, and then it comes down into the bladder.
Right.
What happened was the bladder shifted as it was filling and wedged itself onto this, and the metal put a hole in it, and that's what started that. So, but
operator error. What? No, I'm kidding.
Yeah.
No, see these real world issues are good for us.
But it was a quick, easy little patch in
Right.
that area. It wasn't like it shredded it, you know what I mean?
Right.
But it wasn't pretty.
Just like a vinyl liner, because this is vinyl coated, you could run in your van, grab a handle sample or something. Any vinyl patch, I don't really recommend the patch kits, but I mean like a real patch where you're using, not to call it a brand, but I like HH66, stuff that's heavy duty. You can fix this. One of our number 2 dealer in the entire country is in Deltona, Florida. Services almost the entire state. Only does liners. Doesn't do service, doesn't do cleanings, doesn't do, maybe he'll replace a pump if he's there to do the liner. He just does liners. He has quite a few of these, and I think his oldest one is pushing a dozen years old at this point. It looks maybe a little Frankensteinish with patches here and there, but it still holds water.
So how much
It's
does
still
this
a-
one hold?
It's dude, that might be a 20-gallon job. It's
Okay.
not a real one.
It's just a
Yeah.
sample.
It's just a
Yeah, because
sample.
this one only has one tail.
Well, the smaller 2 have one tail.
Oh, really?
The bigger 2 have tails in opposite corners of each other.
Oh.
Johnny said he used an old Army fuel dump bladder in Florida. I could haul them around on a 5th wheel behind a dually pickup
Okay.
and used a stand-up skid steer to unfold.
How big were those?
He used to live in D-Land.
Are there
Okay.
other companies that make bladders?
There is a company that makes them specific for fuel storage,
Yeah.
and they're much more expensive.
I might not have folded this the way
It
you
does.
did, but.
Believe me, it was like folding an old rope.
Well, if you get a little more room, I'll show you how we fold them on the job, and you can tell me what you
Yeah.
think.
Okay.
I
So
could- I could do that right now, actually.
you can do that right now.
Yeah.
We were talking about transporting these things. If you can get a sizable, heavy-duty, like plastic trash can with the wheels that you can cart around, you could potentially stack 2 on top of each other. And now you're not only storing them vertically, so they're taking up a smaller footprint in your van, in your trailer, in your shop, but also moving them around. Once you've got them loaded into the truck, because the heaviest one is the 15 square, which is the 3,500 gallon job, 78 pounds dry.
So this is how we would do it. We would fold it in half, where you would have. I know nobody can see what I'm doing, but
It's impressive.
everybody can hear what I'm doing
Yes,
now.
he's folding a bladder.
So
Yeah.
that tail, both tails would be down.
Would be out, right?
Can everybody see what I'm doing?
No.
No.
Yeah.
You wanna
No, it was more of a joke.
Oh.
But, so then we'll
You got this, right?
So we'll come across this way,
Okay.
then we'll bring it this way,
We're gonna do a video on how to fold a pool bladder.
and then we come this way, and then we do this way,
Okay.
and then we roll
Then you
it,
roll it. Yep.
so that we're squeezing out all the excess
Pushing the water
water,
out.
and
Okay, we're definitely gonna do
Yeah.
a separate video on how to fold a used pool bladder. Just like with a liner.
so that was incorrect?
No.
Oh,
So we fold it in the shop to fit the box.
oh.
And when it comes out, just like with a liner or a cover, if you ever had to put one back in the box, it ain't happening. How the guys fold it and make it blows my mind.
Johnny said you got the whole room shaking.
What Steve was just showing me on the floor, which you couldn't see, I think we need to do a video maybe out in the field after actually using one of these for those who are seriously interested in making their lives easier. That was great. I love how you rolled it to where you chase the water out. Just like folding if you've ever gone camping, you have to fold your tent a certain way. You end up with this big air pocket that you're like, great, what do I do now? Cut it. All right.
Oh, my mom's here.
Oh, she's sneaking in.
Oh, my mom's
This
here.
is how we actually get her on the feed. She sneaks in through the window. Hey, Mom. All right, there's gonna be some hugs here in just a second. I haven't seen Mom since.
Hi.
Hey, look at you. Did you bring the margaritas? Oh, I love this girl. Good to see you, Mom.
You can have that stuff, dude.
Oh yeah. Whoa.
Hi, everybody.
Oh, you come a little closer.
Yeah, like, yeah.
Hi, everybody.
Yeah, there you go.
Don't forget to subscribe.
See this? I need a hype person like that for the kids. Well, that's what I get you for. So yeah, the way you. I'm going down. Oh my God, this jacket.
Don't fall out the door, man.
There we go. All right, I locked it in place. No, we'll definitely do a video specifically on how to fold the way you just did, because I like that a lot. The way we fold it in the factory doesn't matter because it's got no water in it. You've got to chase all the water out, otherwise it's going to be heavy. So, but I mean, we're talking 70 pounds for the 10 by 20 or 78 for the 15 by 15. Not crazy heavy, but if you put two of them in a container, okay, maybe now two guys want to carry that or cart that around. Right, Mom? That's right. So now what? What's our next question?
It's still gonna come
No,
out.
this-
Okay, so this is the Atlantic City Pool Show special that I was talking about. 15% off these bladders. If you're seriously interested, if you just want to try one, or you actually want to commit and get a few of them, call our offices or email me. Go figure. We're online. Kayden Manufacturing, KaydemFG.com. If you mention, hey, I saw Jim talking about the bladders on Steve Got It Pools, I will make sure we get you this discount, even though we're not at the Atlantic City Pool Show yet. If you, just so you know, and this is not a sales tactic, believe me, it's just how freight works. If you order 5 of them at once, or if you happen to order like 4 bladders and you're like, let me get a standard, 20 by 40 safety cover because you got them in stock. If you get 5 of these at one time, we'll take care of the shipping. Otherwise, I think it's $60 each to ship. But we'll quickly go over the pricing at 15% off. So the most popular one that I said was the 10 by 20. Holds 3,000 gallons. It's the most popular because of the rectangular footprint. Just easier to fit around a pool, although we know we don't always place them around the pool. I've got guys that will put them in the driveway, because that's usually pretty flat, pretty fairly level, and you just try to pump the water back.
Driveways work good.
Oh yeah, provided it's not 100 yards from the pool.
We just gotta make sure that the customer's car is out of the garage. We just gotta make sure that the customer's cars are out of the garage.
Right, yes, yeah. You don't want them driving over this when they're done. So the 20 long
You got
is
questions?
normally $800.
Mom's got questions?
Well, people are saying hi to her and stuff.
Oh.
She's
People
fine.
are,
She's
Ma, you
a
wanna
superstar.
come sit down and take my space? Yeah, let's switch.
Okay.
We'll get Mom on.
There we go.
I don't know what Mom's gonna say.
Well, now the real alpha is here.
Everybody's saying hello to you.
Hi, Mom.
Hi, everybody. I'm the mama.
She's the mama.
How
That's my
tall?
margarita buddy.
He's a fun guy.
That's part of her fungus. For those who don't know.
So Johnny wants to know, how tall is the 3,500 when filled?
How tall is it?
Yes.
It doesn't get very tall, actually. What would you say when you filled the big ones?
How tall?
Yeah, they're only like 2 feet, maybe.
2 feet.
Yeah, it's the water's more spread out. It doesn't really go vertical. And because we know water won't compress, if anybody does pressure testing, we know we pressure test with water as opposed to air because you cannot compress water where you can air, and that gets dangerous. Once you fill the bladder and we have a burp valve at the top and all the air is out, it will only get that full. It won't overexpand. So about 2 feet, and then the footprint of the 15 by 15. Interesting fact about the pool bladder, and this is something we're going to do a video on. I don't know whether I do it with Steve or I just go solo.
We have a question after.
When we make a pool bladder, after we've welded all the seams together, it's different than how we make a liner and how we inspect the liner. When you inspect the liner, you're checking all the seams, you're holding the light, see if any light comes through. Worst case scenario, if something gets missed, we have a little bit of a leak, okay, we can fix that. Worst case scenario with the pool bladder, if that seam should fail, we might have 3,500 gallons of water quickly going somewhere that we didn't anticipate it going to. That would not be good. So, what we do with the pool bladder, which is different than how we inspect liners, we're still inspecting the seams. We overinflate them with air. And then that 2 feet that we were just talking about, you fill it with water, we're now inflating it to like 6 feet tall because air will compress. We could actually probably jack up a car with one of these pool bladders under the rear bumper, let's say. But what we're doing when we overinflate it, because we're inflating it way more than you ever will in the field, we're now spraying all the seams with soapy water looking for the bubbles. Any kind of air coming through, which means water can get through. That's how, who is this wacko? He locked the door, right?
Where's the
Okay.
security?
He's showing the mini bladder. He's showing the world his bladder. But I'm actually I think I'm gonna do a video where I'm laying on the bladder and we're gonna do a time lapse shoot where it actually inflates me up into the air as they test it out. And I'll be stuck on top of this thing because I won't know how to get off with 6 feet.
You're gonna roll off of it.
I'm just gonna roll right on the ground. Workers' comp, here we
That's
come.
my boy.
Yep. There we go.
Alright, Vegas Villain's got a question for Mom. How young was Steve when he learned how to swim, and who taught him?
Does Steve know how to swim?
He does.
Okay, thank God.
So back in the day, we used to have swimming lessons.
Yeah, I remember those.
At Valley Falls or Henry Park, where he has been doing a lot of the videos, updating you on the renovations there. So I would drive him there, and then he would take his swimming lessons. So he started
And he was about, what, 25, 26 at that
let's
age?
say about 6 or
Oh,
7.
I was off by a couple decades. Okay.
About 6 or 7.
I made the show, everybody.
All right, security. Let's
Take your chair back.
Like Matt Damon.
We're,
Like Matt Damon.
we're learning about when you learned how to swim a couple weeks ago.
Yes, do you remember when that was?
Swimming lessons, when you were like 6 or 7. Did you almost cut my bladder with that?
No,
Okay, just making sure.
no, I would never.
Vegas Villain said nice bladder.
Nice bladder,
It
bro.
was Henry Park or Valley Falls. You chose.
Henry Park.
Johnny says I don't know how to really swim.
You know,
They make
shout
those floaties that
out
go in your
Johnny
arms.
South, shout out Vegas Villain
Yep.
for you.
Thanks for hanging with us,
Thanks
guys.
for hanging.
Yeah.
Gabriel,
On a Sunday, no less.
Gina. Who am I missing?
Your dad.
Your
My
dad,
dad.
my mom.
Right?
Aileen.
I didn't tell my mom on this show. She
We
was
gotta
like,
save you some time to do some footage shooting. Now that Mom's here. We
He's
gotta,
going swimming, by the way.
Gina
Oh,
says
how many
hugs
like?
and kisses.
we gotta make a video.
We do. Several of
Make a
them.
video.
But
We
so,
obviously didn't come anywhere close to, like I said, it would require. me
Not
to
yet,
jump in that.
but we're about to fix that because you had some comment on that video that struck by lightning. We got 750,000 views on it. There were some questions and there were some comments on there that we wanted to specifically address about the pool bladder. Do you have access to? I know you're like, I wanted to print them out. I didn't. I dropped the ball. I big failed, Jim. I'm really sorry. Are they on your phone's right there? You can't really pull them up now. You know what? Hey, I got it right here.
Find the video.
Yeah, my mom.
I got it.
Or Jessica could.
This is Jim got it pools now. Jim got it phone.
Yeah.
Jim got it phone.
Yeah, let's give some shout outs to comments. from the
Yeah,
video.
for sure. Because there were some good questions, and obviously let's address any concerns that were on there.
Vegas Villain wants to know if you've ever fallen into a pool that's filled.
Yes, that's how you know you're a pool guy.
One time,
You fall.
who asked that question? Vegas?
Mm-hmm.
So, this is a funny story while you're trying to find the comments.
I got it right here. That's how
Take
good
2
I am.
seconds. So I'm out closing pools, and it's getting into be about dusk, where the sun's starting to go down, and we're out on a job with me and my good buddy Kenny,
and both of us wear glasses, right? So we're going to put the solar safety cover on the pool, and I slipped and fell in the pool. My phone was in my pocket. My glasses fell off my face down into the bottom of the pool. Now, mind you, the pool was, I wouldn't say it was dark algae, but the water needed to be balanced. There's some algicide needed to be added.
Yeah.
You couldn't really see the bottom of the pool too well, and I couldn't see my glasses. So Kenny also wore glasses, but forgot them that day. So we were two blind mice around 5. I started calling other pool techs. Are you guys in the area? Can you come over here and look down into the bottom of the pool to tell me where my glasses are? We can't see, because I'm blind without my glasses here. Everybody see, I'm blind.
Oh my God! Whoa! Holy man! Oh man! What are you kidding?
Yeah.
Oof.
Yeah.
I don't need them for driving and watching movies. Thank God.
So we go and we knock on the door to the neighbor. These two old people answer. And I'm just like, oh, I'm so sorry, I dropped my glasses. Is there any way you could just come out and look into the bottom of the pool? So these two, they must have been in their 80s, you know, and they come out, they're holding each other's hands, and the lady look, oh, I don't know, honey, I'm so sorry, we can't see anything down there. Wish you the best of luck. And she goes off, and I jump in the pool. And I'm like, now, mind you, I can't see, I'm just, I can't breathe. And I come up. Kenny, I can't find him. Kenny jumped in the pool. He found my glasses, and to this day I owe him. And Kenny actually babysat my son for me one time, so that we could, so that I could do a job, so I could go to work. So I could go to work with my glasses on. And so that's that story to Kenny, obviously. But
I think I fell in twice, believe it or not. Once the first time, both took place in Sparta, New Jersey, of all places. It's the free forms that throw me off. I was doing an inspection. When somebody wants to buy a house and there's a pool in the backyard and the home inspector knows nothing about pools, they call in somebody who does, and we would do an inspection report for the pool. So I'm walking around the pool, free form, boning that, and I'm looking back at the skimmers, and I'm in part of where the pool kind of, the shape of the pool kind of bows into the pool a bit, and I'm looking there and stepping here thinking I've got the space, and my foot just goes to step on nothing. And as a pool guy, you got to be prepared for this. So hand goes into the pocket immediately to grab the cell phone, because before the days of the waterproof phones, to throw it as you're falling. And that was the plan, except that my hand got caught up in my pocket as I'm trying to yank my phone out, and kerplunk. And the homeowner came out and was like, wow, you're really dedicated. You actually get in the pool to do this inspection? I'm like, yeah, man, that's right. We actually charge extra for that. But totally embarrassed. Like, wow, that's funny. I thought I had my act together, and I do believe there was another time we were doing a safety cover on a free form, and again, with the cover on now, not attached yet, but just on the pool, I misgauged where my foot was able to step and where it wasn't, and I fell on the cover. But that's a scary thing when you fall on the cover, because it immediately envelops you. And I had two helpers, like, oh, let's get him out of there. That's so for the pools that don't have safety covers, it's like water bag tarps.
I've rolled out onto
That's
those.
the scariest proposition.
I roll right out onto them, and I've got videos. It's like me laying on a waterbed.
On a tarp cover?
Yeah.
No, not a tarp cover.
Yeah, tarp cover.
Tarp cover?
Yeah,
Tarp
tarp
weigh
cover.
like 20 pounds? How do you do that?
It's water bag it up. Just go for it. It'll hold you.
This guy's crazy.
I'm telling you.
That same customer had a solar cover.
I got a video out there.
Okay, well we're gonna review it later. Let's go to the replay. We had that same pool. I had to freeform cut a huge solar cover to go on his Rockies reel, and his dogs would run across, big dogs too. They would run across the solar cover like they were Jesus. I was like, that's impressive. I couldn't do that, but the dogs certainly could.
Yeah.
So anyway.
So you got questions?
Well, I got questions. You got answers.
Yeah.
Let's see. So this is one of the ones I think you talked about from High Flying AF Guy.
Oh yeah,
High Flying Air Force
High
Guy.
Flying AF guy.
He's from California. Are you Edwards Air Force Base out that way, perhaps? High Flying Air Force Guy, for you maybe. I do an event out there by Edwards. I have a 25,000 gallon pool in Southern California. I had to drain it and refill it several years ago, and it only cost around $400. Nice. I'm imagining that's the city water coming through your garden hose. Just one of these costs $800. True. Largest they have is 3,000 or actually 3,500 gallons. I'll just pay the water bill. Yes, high flying Air Force guy, as a homeowner, that is definitely.
So there was 47 replies to that.
This is not. Oh, wow. This is not meant for one-time use. This is meant for a pool professional who's going to use them day in and day out, year after year. And it becomes the fact that you can save the water and the salt and the chemicals and the time is a selling point. A big time, especially for those who are concerned about all the chlorine going out into the God knows where. Okay, that becomes a selling point. Even if you are charging, and I have many dealers who do this, a small rental fee to help recoup the cost of the bladders even quicker, it still puts them ahead of the game for those that can't save the water. That guy in Florida, number 2 dealer in the country, number 2 Kayden dealer in the entire country, saves water all day, every day with these things.
He's from Florida?
He's from Deltona, Florida.
Yeah.
My good buddy Jeff. So that's, this is not for the homeowner. We get homeowners calling us all the time, and no,
I
Kayden does
think
not
there
sell
was,
direct.
what I think, I think there was a few comments where people were trying to make a case for the average homeowner to buy them.
That could be, that's a lot of replies.
Yeah, there's a lot of replies in that.
Well, yeah, wow, seems incredibly wasteful for someone living in the desert with water restrictions. Yeah, okay. I don't know if we have time to go through. Why can I not see my comment? I don't know. High flying guy. But barring going into all 43 comments, that is basically the
No, that was 47 replies to that.
replies to that comment,
Yeah.
which is, So not intended for single use, not intended for the homeowner, intended for a pool professional who's going to use them time and time again. People often ask, is there anybody who rents them?
That's a great idea.
If you own them, offer that to other pool services or homeowners in the area who do their own liner changes. Yes, we can rent you some pool bladders. Make some more money. Why not? I'm not using them right now. You can rent them. Mom, what do we tell you
What
about
are
that?
you doing, Mom?
500 likes, I'll jump in with you, Steve.
Yeah.
500 likes,
500
Mom's
likes.
jumping
Mom's
in.
jumping in too.
Yes.
I'm a 1,000 like guy. I just
Yeah, no, I'm not
holding
a
out.
no.
But I read a lot of those comments, and I felt that a lot of people were legitimately trying to come up with more reasons. You know, they were trying to justify why the average person would want to be buying them, which I thought was very nice of a lot of people.
Right, unless that person's going to start their own pool bladder rental company. It's not the right, or you're ludicrously rich, perhaps. I don't know, because I'm not. I don't know what that's like. How do I get back to not replying to his?
Vegas villain
I'll
wants
press
to
that
know
button.
how common are diving boards.
I'm sorry. What we were.
Vegas villain wants to know how common diving boards are out here.
Out here,
Yeah.
diving boards are pretty common.
Yeah, pretty common.
Well,
I mean,
there's
I'm seeing more new builds go with the dive rock, probably for
Dive
insurance
rocks.
purposes, but traditionally they're pretty common.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
More so than slides.
as long as it's 8 feet deep,
Mm-hmm.
I would say 50% of the customers buying an 8-foot deep pool are doing some sort of
Yeah.
dive
Yeah.
board, dive rock, or
Yeah.
a waterfall.
Yep.
Something.
It's diving boards are such an insurance buzzword. I had a Warwick High School, Warwick, New York, called my company, All American Pool Service, many years ago, and said, we would like to get a diving board installed in our indoor pool. Can you do the job? And I said, no, I cannot do the job because I knew better. But let me find you somebody who can. As soon as my lawyer and my insurance agent got wind that I was looking to recommend somebody for a diving board install, they said, no, you do not recommend anybody. Let them find who it is, because God forbid anything ever happens on that diving board, anybody who's ever talked about the job is going to court. I don't want to be any part of that. Here was an interesting thing I always dealt with as a service guy. Closing a pool with a diving board, let's say it's a new customer, and they're like, oh, you're going to take the diving board off, right? Wait, what? Why am I going to take the diving board off? Again, knowing that my lawyer and my insurance agent would have a field day if that diving board went back on at opening time, and somebody's had a few too many margaritas, mom knows, and gets on that diving board and slip and boom, anybody who's ever touched that diving board is now going to court. I don't care who they are.
Right.
I don't have time to go to court. I don't have
Yeah.
money to go to court.
Bladder.
So it's
Bladder.
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 Oh, we were talking about bladders?
Every time we say bladder, someone takes a shot.
It's a new game.
Black.
It's a new game.
Oh, Bladder, bow, batter, bow. Sorry.
Scott
Everybody takes a shot. Oh, if it's a margarita, I'm good. Okay.
says risk management.
Yeah, definitely.
Scott's a new
CYA.
commenter.
It's your dad.
Oh, Scott. Well, that's Pops.
Yeah.
Pops.
What was that loud bang?
That was risk management at its best.
Well, yeah.
I was when he backed into my car. I love that there's
Dump truck's pulled in.
leave a book, take a book.
I built
Book
that
note
little
right
hut.
there. That's really cool.
My wife and I built that little
My
hut.
wife would love that. If I knew if you had that, I would have brought some books. You should have told me.
300.
And then I think it got broken
Yeah, and
during
then
the install of
there's the door, right? With the door.
Like the wind came and blew the
Oh,
door off of it or
wow.
something.
Wow. Okay.
Johnny called you a smart ass.
Pool guys have giant bladders come in handy at cake parties. Yep, that is true, Joseph. Guys, the tail is in the right place. It's literally only there so if it's wagging, you know that the bladder is nice, happy, and full. So there was something about the tail not being in the right place. What was going on with that in this video? Maybe there was a
There's more comments addressing that type of
Okay.
issue.
Okay, it's 11 cents for over 700 gallons of water in my county in North Carolina, so I'll pass. Totally makes sense to me. That's not always the case. There are some counties where they charge you not only for the water that you're using, but they charge you for the sewage, assuming that water's going to go to the sewage as well. Now you're sitting on, I don't know, 20, 30,000 gallons of water that's not going to go anywhere for a decade or so. Why am I paying the sewage on that? So those are things to watch out for. But in my area, like I said, Sussex County, New Jersey, Orange County, New York, we live in the mountains, a rural, semi-rural area. Everybody's on a well. My well's 300 feet deep. Best drinking water you have. My
I
neighbors.
feel like our whole neighbors are well as well.
Yeah,
right?
and some wells are artesian and the water just springs forth and I can wash my car for days. Other wells, you run your water for 5 minutes and it's starting to dry up. You cannot fill a pool with that. So
Definitely drink.
even when it's free, it doesn't matter. You don't want to burn out your well pump. Trust me, I've changed mine too many times. So yeah, there are certain areas where this is not needed. This is not for every pool. But Steve will certainly tell you it works in many cases. My guy in Florida, every job. Sometimes you're not wanting to save the water because it's
I'm
black.
telling you, I
it's
was
the
driving down the highway and I saw a construction crew
Mhm.
working on a riverbed, like
Mhm.
doing some, and they were using
Using
bladders to like hold back a bank.
Oh yeah. You could create dams with it.
Yeah.
I wanted you were talking about your glasses going into a pool. It wasn't the best water, but you got in there. What's the worst, most disgusting dive you've ever had to do?
Dive?
Dive.
I don't do much diving.
And you call yourself a pool guy
Oh,
I've used that I've used that
rest.
respirator thingy, you know.
with the compressor up on the
Yeah,
deck.
I've
that's
used
nice.
that a couple times, working on lights and main
Mhm,
drains and
mhm.
things like that. But Johnny does a lot of diving.
Okay.
Johnny says some of my closings have flight deck boards. I remove but will not install new boards on existing pools or on my bills. Most insurance companies won't cover it.
Right. Yeah.
Call the water company to have the bill prorated for
Yeah.
sewage.
Yeah.
Ah.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know how many your pool guy can tell you how many gallons are going into your pool, and let your water company know it's not going anywhere. It's not going down the storm drain. Disgusting dives. Early in my pool professional career, I encountered a vinyl iron pool that was leaking. We figured out it was the main drain line somewhere in the line. Of course, it's way underground, so it's very hard to figure that out. To keep there from being a potential issue, because it wasn't a low-lying area, I had to dive in to basically plug the main drain. But this water was so black and so full of tadpoles
Oh.
that as I stood at the tip of the diving board, and this is not something I would normally recommend, I'm literally pouring bags of 99% dichlor right into that spot. And then I dove in, and I could not even see the main drain cover until I got right to it. And then I started to unscrew it. And there was no dive equipment, no breathing apparatus, so it was hold your breath, go down, come back up, go back down. The weight belt helps, but when you got the weight belt on, you got to really push off that floor to get back up to hang on the diving
Oh
board.
no way.
That's
Some of the worst
bad.
stuff that I see when I'm doing.
Whoa.
Jump packing.
Yeah, buddy.
Well, it's random Giuliano's guys just show up on my feet. There it is. Look at that. I was gonna say if my heart skips a beat later, I'm gonna need that. Okay. Oh well.
Johnny South
I
said,
don't even know who that is.
Must be legit at the Juliana's hoodie on.
yeah.
They sell them at the Goodwill.
Johnny says he dove a pool that had been closed for 8 years to unplug the main drain.
Oh yeah. That's good times, right, Johnny?
All feel no see.
Yeah, jeez. That's sometimes you just gotta do it.
Some of the worst stuff that I see when I'm doing a liner replacement on pools like that is when you get down to the last little bit and the tadpoles are just, they're all sucked
All
into
right
the
there,
pump.
yep.
Their
So
tails
gross.
banging on.
Oh.
Yeah, Johnny said very thick water. Used a hookah for air.
Yep. I created what I called the UBA because it wasn't a self-contained underwater breathing apparatus. It was just an underwater breathing apparatus. It was a snorkel mouthpiece with a flexible hose to a flotation device
That kept it above the water.
that kept the end of it above the water. But what I had to make sure I did was I breathed in through the hose, but because the hose was so long, I breathed out through my nose, so I wasn't breathing my own carbon dioxide back.
out, yeah.
It worked in above ground pools. It worked in the shallow end. I could stay in forever. But once they got into the deep end, the water weight, the pressure on my chest, I couldn't make my chest expand to bring the air in, because when you're doing a scuba dive, the air coming in is under pressure, so it'll make your chest expand for you. So it didn't work in the deep end, but for above ground and shallow work, oh, great. Cost nothing to do. Yeah, that's my story.
No, I don't. Johnny's the diver.
Johnny the diver. Okay, so I saw a comment that said this is only 3,000 gallons for $800. You can get a cheap 5,000 gallon above ground pool for $300 and use it temporarily water transfer. Yeah, again, we've addressed this issue. There are the inflatable pools, the ring that you can fill, and God forbid it's not on totally flat ground. CYA, if you've got 3,000 gallons going somewhere that you didn't want it to go really quickly, you might have a problem on your hands. Chances are with a bladder, if the water's going anywhere, it's because it's got a hole poked in it, and we're going to plug it and then we're patch it. We're good to go. These are designed to be used again and again and again. They will pay for themselves down the road. Again, the rental fee is something a lot of my dealers do just to recoup. There was a reply to that one. What's funny is I bet these bags have some kind of human swimming water health cleanliness certification driving up and all right, we're ripping on Doughboy again. Don't mean to do that. Funny fact, I learned over the Christmas break. Actually, I was before the Christmas break when I was on quarantine with pneumonia, locked in my game room for a week.
Darn.
Sounds like hell on earth,
I
right?
know,
I know,
fuck.
gosh, that was rough time, guys. We've all seen Christmas Vacation. We all know how Clark Griswold is going to take his Christmas bonus, his Jelly of the Month money, and get a pool installed. In his vision, it's always an in-ground pool. It's a probably plaster pool. You know, we're in a minimum $50,000 job these days. But the pamphlet that he shows his coworker at the beginning of the movie, it's a Lomart above ground pool. I was like watching, I'm like, wait a minute, pause that. Let me rewind all the pause. I'm reading, I'm like, that's a Lomart, like 18 by 36, or maybe not even above ground. Not at all what they were showing in the video. Anyway, that's my contribution to the show today. I'm sure that's great for the lawn boys. Have you had? So I'm imagining this is referring to the grass. Have you had any incidences where, oops, I killed the grass with one of these?
No.
Right?
No.
Okay.
It flattens the grass down a little bit, but we just rake it out and we're done.
Yeah.
Fluffs right back.
Grass is incredibly resilient, hence it being grass. The only time I've killed grass, at opening time, you pull the cover off and you clean it off and you let it dry while you're working and then you fold it back up. It was a guy who was very meticulous about his pool. His water was always sparkling clear, even when we opened the pool, didn't matter what, when. But he would chemicalize his pool over the winter. So when we pulled his cover off, it was an above ground pool, and laid it out in the grass to clean it, the residual chlorine fumes or whatever that were impregnated in the bottom of the cover for the relatively short amount of time that cover with no weight was sitting on his grass. When we pulled it out, like later that day, he sent me a picture of a perfect oval of brown grass in his backyard. And I said, okay, don't pay the bill that I just left you, and get that taken care of, and let me know if the bill doesn't cover it. He was a great customer. It was a fluke. But yeah, I've never heard of the grass actually dying from the pool bladder. Grass is very resilient. Just don't chemicalize it with chlorine. Okay.
Johnny said some, CYA should be between 2 to 5.
CYA should be between 2 and 8.
It's a CYA.
Oh, that's like happy hour from 2 to 5, I think. That's what it is. I'll definitely CYA my ass with that. I mean, what?
SIA should be between 2 and 5.
Cyanuric acid should be between
Yeah.
2 and, yes, okay. You put CYA, we're talking about CYA, and that, funny joke, Johnny. I get you, buddy. That's pool humor right there. That's pool guy humor. First thing, do not place upgrade from the dwelling. Again, we spoke about this. We do have a yard burn system that will offset some of that that slant. We do need to be aware that we are holding 3,000 plus gallons in one place.
So
There's some responsibility there.
let me just so when we talk about putting them on a little, when I was doing the whole Augusta Tiger Woods thing,
Yes, yeah.
what we'll do is if we're on a really steep angle, we'll have like guys just kind of stand on it while it's
You
filming.
don't have any of the yard burns?
No.
And you call yourself a pool guy.
Yeah.
I'm so disappointed right now.
But we
Johnny
just
said you got it.
But we just have them just stand, like one or two guys will just stand on it, and once they can feel the water under their feet, they let go. But we've had them roll down the hill because
Right.
that was us learning what they
Yeah,
could take and
yeah,
what
yeah.
they couldn't take.
Right.
That's the best way, to handle your product is to learn what it can take and what it can't take, and then you know what the limits are. And so we push them to the limits every time.
Right.
Vertical limit. It was a good movie. Watch that movie.
Nice.
But
Good segue.
yeah.
Yeah, the original prototype pool bladders that Jeff made, and there's a photo of him sitting on one, kneeling on one as it's full, they were more than 3,500 gallons. Again, being thinking CYA,
9,000.
there were some big ones. A, where are you going to put that? B, how much does it weigh to move it around even dry? But should something go wrong, for whatever reason, that's a lot of water.
Yeah.
I have been in a 24 round above ground that a groundhog burrowed underneath. So when the lady called me, she was losing water. I get in the backyard. I'm like, oh my God, there's this huge like bubble where the washout is, the dig out, and there's a small slit in the very bottom of that. Like, I can't fix this, but I can buy you some time and save your water if thank you. If I just get a patch on this little slit real quick. So. And you gotta figure I was 235 pounds, and very fit. I was into working out, I was into bodybuilding, all that stuff. So I could handle myself. Steve, that's it. He's out. You're taking over. Nice. Gotta finally get some class around this joint. As soon as I put the slightest amount of pressure on that little slit to put the patch on, boom! It burst open, and all the off the top of my head, I forget how many gallons are in a 24 round, but they all went out. Very quickly, within like 30 seconds, that pool was empty. At 235 and in good shape and an experienced swimmer and diver, I had to fight to not go down that hole and probably drown. All right. So we need to be aware, like, what water can do when you have a lot of it moving quickly. Want it to go. Hence, the largest bladder being 3,500 gallons. But we do make it out of something extremely durable that the chances are good. You're not going to just, oops, I dropped my screwdriver on it. It's in your face. So Steve left us a charge? Wow, okay. Can you tell us a joke, Mom, while you... Actually, can you throw your voice? Can you make it... I'm supposed to throw my voice at you while I'm drinking water.
He's putting me on the spot because I got no talent.
Get out of here. I've seen you drink margaritas. That's a talent. Come on.
I had one.
I had one and I was tipsy. That's not so much of a lightweight. I'm not even a lightweight. I'm a sure thing. My goodness. I'll take that guard. Take the heat off you.
Okay,
So
thank
yeah, do not place upgrade. If you need to, let's talk to me. You can text me. You can call me. You can email me. We can put up my contact information at the end of the show. But yeah, there's ways to offset the hills. How many PFAs are in swimming pools? I've noticed rich folks and celebrities that own pools are breaking bad with various cancers.
Ooh.
I have no idea. I honestly have no. That's outside of my wheelhouse. My wheelhouse. Okay. Maybe a video for another time. Shouldn't the tail be over the pool to refill when done, or am I missing something? In a perfect world, so the two larger bladders have snorkels, as we call them, in opposite corners of each other. Those are 7-inch snorkels, so when you're using a trash pump, your strainer can still go up inside there, and then you can quickly zip tie it tight. It's not going to be watertight. It doesn't need to be. If we're filling the upper side of it, clamping the lower side, everything's going to be fine. In a perfect world, it's right next to the pool, and one of those snorkels is hanging over the edge, because the easiest, quickest way to unload this bladder back into the pool, let Mother Nature and gravity take over. Newton's like, yeah, man, way to go. Unclamp it and just let it flow right back in. That's in a perfect world, as Steve has told us. Not that this is Steve's beautiful mother that I just shocked. She's like electrifying. Is that you got to place it wherever you can. In which case, you might be using a trash pump to move it back. You guys use a trash pump, right?
Yeah, we use trash pumps.
You could also move it with like other pumps, submersible pumps, but the trash pump is the way to go. When you can place it next to the pool, definitely do that. Undo the clamp. Don't slice the bladder with the clamp, like a kitty ladder or something like that. Kitty slide. But that's what we strive for. We don't always get there. Should the tail be over the pool to refill when I'm done?
Oh yeah.
One guy.
I put out a whole video in response to that comment.
I saw that video. That was well done. One guy using a few thousand gallons a year for a pool isn't nearly as bad as industrial water usage waste. That's probably true, Timothy. 5480. So replied, some industry leaks more water a day than this guy's pool. Also probably true. Okay, looks like a giant whoopee cushion. We may have to test that theory.
That was one of my favorite comments.
Absolutely.
Thank you, T. Mullins,
It does.
I
1428.
definitely thought that one.
It looks like a giant whoopee cushion. You should see how they're made. They use big giant sewing machines from the 1920s.
That was my response.
You think we sew these?
What do you mean? The bladders?
Yeah.
Oh no.
We don't sew these, just to be
That
clear.
that was the safety covers.
That was the safety covers.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't really sew vinyl and make it.
Yeah.
These are
Should I delete that comment?
editing something. That's pretty funny. They're sewn with.
So correct me on it.
220s. I'm not even sure what account. How am I logged in? I am.
You just respond.
Oh, it's like my personal account. People are gonna be like, "Who's this Jim the Tank guy?" I don't know who he is. I'm not logged in as Jim the Pool guy. No, these are not sewn together, despite what the experts say.
You know what it was? It was because your safety cover room was literally we were all within. So I just associated the sewing machine room with the bladder and.
The area where we test the bladders out is the same area where we lay out safety covers to template for repairs.
Yeah, when you blow them up, it looks like the Flight of the Navigator.
We're going to do a video on that because it's going to be pretty funny. But the room right next to that, yes, we do have sewing machines from the 1920s because they work a lot better than the sewing machines from the 2020s. Go figure. I own 2 sewing machines personally. They're both 1940s era, and I swear to God, I could sew through solid steel with these things. They are unstoppable. They're also really heavy, so like in a pinch.
They're very cool.
Who? Me?
The
Thank
sewing
you.
machines.
Oh, I thought you were talking about me.
Yes,
Thanks,
of
man.
course.
They are very cool. They're Art Deco. They're gorgeous.
Yes.
Like they're not just like these functional automaton machines like we get today.
Automaton.
I just like that word because that sounds like the caveman. All right, yeah, we'll address that. Giant whoopee cushion. So they are not sewn together. We use a Miller machine which does it's a hot wedge that basically welds the seams together. And like I said, we go through a very rigorous safety inspection process when it's all said and done. The tail is supposed to be over the edge of the pool. It is made to be pumped in, and when the repair is complete, just open it up and refill the pool. Someone made a boo-boo, Steve. Oh gosh.
How's that?
Is that how bad we look?
Yeah, that's what we
I'm
look
sorry,
like.
guys. I'm sorry. I had no idea. I was looking like that.
No, we're
I'm really-
getting really
feeling-
up close and personal
Oh,
now.
jeez. Sorry about that. No, in a perfect world, yeah, we made a boo-boo. We didn't put the tail over the edge of the pool. But we don't live in a perfect world, as we know. So sometimes we have to move that water back and forth in another way. If we can do the tail over the edge, that's awesome. Doesn't always work that way. Can someone explain to me this? Because I might be thinking of this the wrong way. It says that you know it's full when the water comes out the top vent. It also says not to overfill. True. Is the vent somewhere before the actual top of the bag or something? You replied to this. I made a video to explain things a bit better. I'll link in the description. The vent is the black piece in the middle, I believe. So, in the top of the bladder, in the center, is a cap, all right? You can use that if you're not using a trash pump to fill the pool. You can use a garden hose. You can use a 2-inch, backwash hose. Someone, I don't know why I'm holding my phone for this. Here we go. This is an older style cap. We should probably make a new up-to-date version for the upcoming AC show. But basically, you can fill using that cap if you're not using a trash pump to move it. Like I said, garden hose fits in there. Backwash hose can fit in there, but that's going to get cut off. But the idea is this also works as a burp valve. And what is a burp valve? If anybody's ever owned a water bed, you know what a burp valve is. We want this to be completely filled with water and not with air as well. Water will lay nice and flat. And if you've had a water bed, and if you didn't have burp valve working, you would have water with an air dome, an air bubble on top. Not fun to sleep on. So when this cap is slightly loose, just a little bit, as this fills with water, it's going to chase the air up and out through that cap. Once water starts to trickle, tighten the cap down and stop pumping the water into it. You cannot, it says don't overfill, that's a CYA thing, but technically because no water will not compress, you can't overfill this. It'll get to a certain point and that's it. Water will just pour out or it's just not going to fill anymore. With air, we know we could overfill it, but we do that to make sure that you're safe. That is what this valve does. It has multiple purposes. We used to actually have separate burp valves, but it was kind of redundant since this can act as a burp valve. Why do the work twice? So that is how this works. And yes, I have a photo of one of my good friends and a local dealer after filling one of these things, like standing on it. It's basically a waterbed. You can jump up and down on it like monkeys or whatever. I just read my 3-year-old daughter that no more monkeys jumping on the bed last night, so it's fresh in my memory. So yeah, it's a very sturdy thing. You can lay on them like a waterbed. You can sleep on them. You don't blame me if your crew is caught sleeping on water bags.
They are very.
Ladders, when they're supposed to be working. So hopefully that addresses the question about the valve in the top. People amaze me. All right, this might not be the most.
Yeah, I always told me, make sure you proofread before you.
Yeah, people always amaze me how dumb they can be.
Yeah.
It's not like the dirty water is disappearing. The water will just go back into the ground and will cycle again eventually. If it didn't, we couldn't have water. So this is a valid statement. Water does not go away, it simply recycles. The rain falling on us today fell on the dinosaurs a long time ago. If the water's dirty, you might not want to save it. Maybe it's time to just say, okay, we just cut our losses and we're gonna drain this water out and we're gonna put new water in. If you have nice clean water, like I said, that somebody paid good money to put salt into, or that a leak in the shell of this pool, then I've got to get water if we can. Some homeowners don't even know that this is an option, but they're ecologically minded, and when you mention it to them, they're like, "Oh, I didn't even know we could do that. That's none of the other companies that came to quote this job for me mentioned that. When can you guys do the job?" Here is a thing that I try to focus on when I'm doing sales seminars. Is make yourself indispensable by offering what the competition doesn't or can't. And it's no longer about selling on price, it's selling on, I need you to do the service because you do this, this, and this that the other companies don't. I don't care what your price is. I'll figure out how to cover your price because I want you to do this job for me. That is sales 101. You've won already before you're even talking about what it's going to cost. Where I live, you just pump it out. Yes, Alex Kidd, 1906. That is an option for you, and kudos to you, man. Good job for living where you do. A lot of people can do that. Anybody can really do that, but that's not really the point of what we're talking about here. And we've gone over the reasons why. This guy just thinks bladder is funny. Might be a kindergartner. I'm not sure. World's biggest whoopee cushion. We covered that, and Steve, of course, commented that it's sewn together with a sewing machine.
Yeah, I really messed that one up there. That's for sure.
That is so funny. no, see how I got so in there? That was so funny.
Yeah.
Doesn't that end have to be at the copping? I think you mean coping. For the water back in part. Yeah, we're talking about this. The one of the snorkels again hanging over the edge is ideal for opening up that, undoing that clamp and just letting Mother Nature and gravity just pull it back in there. That's awesome. Doesn't always work that way. My question is, if not already answered, does the cost of refilling the pool exceed the cost of one or multiple pool bladders? When I was doing service, and everybody was on well water, so I had to get pool water tankered in. It was on average, and this is going back years ago again, so I'm sure the price is higher now. 300 to 350 for about 6,000 gallons of water, depending on how far they had to travel from the quarry to get it. On a 20 by 40 pool, that could be $1,200 in water. That's a pretty big expense. Yes, one of these is $800, but again, you're not using it once. You're not using it twice. You're not using it 3 times. You're using it time and time again, year after year. You are landing more renovation jobs, whether it's liner, whether it's plaster or paint, whether it's fiberglass repair work, or even new installations. You're using them for a myriad of purposes, not just for installing vinyl liners. You could be charging a small rental fee, whatever you think the market will bear for something like this, to the homeowner. And if for whatever their priority is, figure out what their priority is and focus on that and sell to them that way, you'll land more jobs with these options that the other companies aren't offering. So could it be cheaper? Yes, but in the long run, no.
So I think Jim, we should put the remaining of our time and energy into creating some videos.
How much time we got?
We can
We
got as much time as you want, buddy. But
I only have a 3-hour drive to get back home, but it's fine. I'm here for you. Buddy.
but
I'm here for you.
if you know, I just think we can reach more people through a video.
Okay. How many likes we got? Like 498? Are we close? Are you about to take a dive?
It's probably one of my worst live streams ever.
Oh, that's probably my fault.
No. It's because it's a Sunday.
It's a Sunday.
Everybody's
It's
watching football.
Yeah.
Everybody's watching football.
Yeah, go Steelers.
But I don't want you to get discouraged, because I think that we can maybe because I think what we do is we get mic'd up, and we'll just kind of do, we'll shoot some footage.
Okay.
We'll shoot some footage, and that way I can we can make a video.
Okay. Well,
right.
do people watch the live videos even after they're not live anymore?
They do.
Right.
They do.
Yes.
So we'll put out last bit of like the important information.
Yeah. Last
so
little
those
bit of
that know.
info.
So for pool guys, we're talking about the big 2 pool bladders, not the smaller 2, which are more for hot tub guys. We will sell stuff to them too, even though we don't make anything for hot tubs. So the 15 square, the big hunga-munga, 15 feet by 15 feet, holds 3,500 gallons. It's 78 pounds dry. Obviously full, you're not going to move. It's going to weigh a lot, 8.5 pounds per gallon. Normally the price is $835. We have an upcoming 15% off deal at the Atlantic City show for $710. So you're saving over $100 on that. If you call Kayden Manufacturing this coming week or the following week, sometime soon before the AC show, and say, hey, I was watching Steve Got It Pools. Jim was on there talking about the pool bladders. I think they're awesome. Jim's a great guy. Steve's pretty cool too. Whatever. Fucking love this guy. I said the F word. Oh, now I gotta drink. Mention that Jim said there was an upcoming 15% off deal, and I'm not coming to the Atlantic City show. We'll give you the price. Okay, 20 long, 10 feet by 20 feet. The most popular option, just simply because it's a rectangular footprint, tends to work better around pools. 3,000 gallons, 70 pounds dry weight. Normally those are $800. I will get them for you at $680. All right, that's a piece. Bear in mind, one bladder is not really going to do what you think if you're thinking, I'm going to do liner changes with one bladder, you're not. What's the average number of bladders for an in-ground 1632 rectangle? You probably use like 4 bladders?
4 or 5, yeah.
4 or 5, yeah. That's going to fill your hopper and get that water into the shallow end to get your stretch on your liner. So now you're cutting in your fiberglass steps, you're cutting in your lights, your skimmers, your returns. You're pulling the vacuums out, and you're saying, hey, Mr. and Mrs. Homeowner, I got to go. Can I get paid now, please? My job is done. I have another liner job to do today. That's how that works. When we're shipping these to you, or if you're near Paterson, New Jersey, you're more than welcome to pick them up. And if you come in, you want to sit down and talk, liners and safety covers, bladders, I'll take you on a tour just like I did with Steve earlier the year. Great video, great time we had. Might take you for margaritas, but that's kind of a me and mom thing, so I don't want to, encroach on that. There's $60 each to ship, but if you order 5, which I know is a financial commitment, and it's hard, over the winter, but if you order 5, the shipping is on us. We will take care of it for you. Again, these things will pay for themselves down the road.
Oh yeah.
It's not. It's not. You're not going to see the return right away.
No.
But eventually, it's just like a salt chlorine system. It's expensive to put in, but eventually that will pay for itself. The convenience alone.
And like anything, the better you take care of it, the longer it'll last.
Yeah, and if you poke a hole, you patch it.
Sometimes it needs maintenance. Sometimes it needs a patch. Yeah.
Sometimes you're dragging them on rough concrete. And you're wearing wear and tear here and that. You can patch them with regular liner, vinyl liner patches. But we also have patch kits that are pre-cut at 1-inch and 2-inch circles, because you always want your patches to be round, of this same material. This polyester weave vinyl coated 22-ounce weight material. H866, again, we'll just put it on same way. What are some of the other patch stuff? There's the tube, I forget what it's called. It's got some name. I'm an H866 guy, so I don't remember what the other stuff is. But that's basically it, Like I said, we'll do a video. Maybe we'll do a video of you folding this one, because you had a really good technique for chasing the water out to make it as light as possible. And getting the water out, like for long-term storage, getting as much water out as you can is not a bad idea.
It'd almost be nice if we could fill that one up.
We could.
We almost could.
We could. Yes, it can take chlorine, treated water. It's vinyl, just like the vinyl in the swimming pool, so the chlorinated water is not going to affect it. One of the things about having water tankered in, though, what the company that I used to use in New York that would tanker water in, I knew I had to put like a mineral out, a mineral sequestering agent, metal out, into the water immediately, because which one makes the water turn black? Is it manganese or magnesium? I think it's magnesium. Manganese, I think, goes purple when you chlorinate it. Their water just happened to be high in whatever metal turns black when it oxidizes. And as soon as you'd hit chlorine in the water, boom! This pool that looked like a brand new pool, all of a sudden the water's black. So watch out for things like that. Sometimes the pH will be like way out of whack, and you're spending a lot of money to bring it back in. So those are factors to factor in as well. Well water, you don't know what kind of minerals could be in there if you're able to use a well. So there's a lot of reasons for considering Kayden pool bladder. I'd be remiss if I didn't put up Kayden in there. But anyway, guys, thanks for tuning in on a Sunday when we could be watching NFL. And Steve, thanks for having me. Thanks for letting me drive a 6-hour round trip to come hang out with you. It's fine. He did that with me earlier this year, so I owe him. I owe him the drive. It's not a bad drive, though. It's nice. It's just up 84 to 83, for me.
Johnny had asked a question.
Uh-oh. What was Johnny asking?
How do they drain if you can't get close to the pool? So we take one of those gas pumps with the discharge hose, and then basically we'll leave a little tail on. So like when we're putting the clamp on, we'll put the clamp on halfway up. Here, hold the clamp. And then through this end right here, take 2.
Keystone Cops here.
All right. Yeah, so right in there, we put the discharge hose in there, and then we just use duct tape, believe it or not, and we wrap it around the hose.
I never thought of duct tape. I always said zip ties.
Zip tie, yeah. We duct taped the little daylights out of it, and then we'll take off the clamp, and all the water then goes into the gas pump, and you just turn on the gas pump, and it just drains out into the pool, just like if it was a water truck.
Yeah, moving the water around with the trash pump is probably the quickest way to do it if you can't do a gravity feed. But yeah, I'm glad we have that real world knowledge at our hands that you've got from using these things in the field.
Well, we've had a few jobs. We had one roll down a hill and slam into a fence on us one time.
How did the fence hold up?
And believe it or not, we were able to get all the water out of the bladder and save the bladder.
Right.
It was not fun. Kenny and I did that.
But that's scary.
So listen, I'd like to take a minute, and I want to thank Jim. I want to thank Jim, and I want to thank Jeff, his boss, for letting him come up here.
Old man Kayden.
It's too bad he didn't chime in on the chat.
He's actually on his way to Costa Rica. That lucky
Oh.
yeah.
He's on his way to Costa
So
Rica.
that kind of puts me in charge for the next week and a half. So watch out.
But we'll have a lot of fun in Atlantic City. Because even after the show, we can link up after a few margaritas, and who knows what crazy stuff you and I will do when we're live in Atlantic City, man. But we're gonna shut the live stream down. I think we've been on for about 2 hours. We appreciate everybody. You know, Johnny, I think you've been here the longest.
Yeah.
Vegas Villain, Gina.
We had some good questions and some good stories, some good jokes.
Yeah. And hopefully a few more people will chime in and watch it and everything like that.
I'm really disappointed you didn't jump in the pool though. We got so close to 500 likes.
So I think another part of it too is you see how I went vertical or horizontal?
Horizontal, yeah.
Sometimes it's weird. The algorithm on YouTube is weird,
Yeah,
but sometimes
I
if you're
know.
doing a vertical live stream, sometimes that'll get more views and people will be. I don't know if this is just something that people can only watch on their computers or iPads.
Maybe.
I don't know.
There's definitely a different audience for the horizontal versus the vertical. I'm gonna try diagonal videos coming up and see how that works.
I just feel Vegas Villain, appreciate you guys sharing your stories. Have a great day.
Oh, nice.
Vegas, thank you. Obviously, I won't
From
forget.
Mississippi, right?
Yeah, from Mississippi.
Yeah, Vegas,
Mississippi, Vegas. Mom says goodbye, but you know, it's you never know how good a stream's gonna do. I mean,
Right.
you know, next time we do a stream, we could have 500,000 people watching it. You never know, but it's just the one that we did at your place. That was a really good one. I think we had up to like 500, 600, 700 people on it once, and then that one put out a lot.
Did anybody look up Lord Humongous cosplay? I'm just curious.
I think
If anybody
Johnny. I
actually
think
went
Johnny
down.
has.
Did he? Oh,
I
boy.
guarantee so.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure Johnny has.
Oh, to be built like that again. That was.
Peace out, pool brother from another pool mother. No, I appreciate everybody. We're gonna try to shoot some videos so that we can edit up some kind of cool stuff. This guy's gonna transform into the KAYDENATOR.
This will be the first time this is our dry run. Yeah, gotta do it before the show and make sure everything fits.
But that's it. That's it. Anybody in the room got something to say? Okay. All right. We'll shut her down.
Thanks, everybody.
Thanks. Bye.